Hi, Charkie.
Hey, Cass.
You ready to finish this fight? You ready to take back Central Park?
I don't know. I wish this could last forever.
Yeah, 4 more episodes, 12 more hours. Let's get to it.
Fuck the January poll. We're doing this all No, we're finishing this.
It's Alone in the Dark 2008, folks, and it's time that we bring it to the lights. We've enjoyed, or at least I've enjoyed this game so far. I don't know about the viewers at home. I don't know about Charkie, Charkie having to watch me play all this, but I've enjoyed my time with this well enough, barring some frustrating moments. But this is the stream where we finally put it to bed, hopefully with any luck. All we have to do, as far as I'm aware, is to collect some of the last things on the open world segment of the map of this portion of the game, and then drive to the final mission, and we can sit back and enjoy the cutscene that follows, and that'll be that. I'm gonna get it.
You still gotta do the final mission.
Yeah, that's true enough, I suppose. But, you know, that was sort of implied, I would like to think. And if y'all can bear with me as the game just launches, because this game, of course, being the pain in the ass that it is to get up and running on modern OSs, it's still a pain in the ass to get streaming out, to get sent to my good friend Charkie here.
Hi. That also
I think we're there.
That reminds me that since this is wrapping up, we got the January Patreon and subscriber poll. It's going to go up soon, and there's one game that I need to make sure that if it gets picked, will actually work.
Time will tell. We don't need to sit through these splash screens, these intros. Let's just get right into it. Gamma boost going out, audio going out, boost is working on that. Let's smash that continue button. Let's see where we left off.
How's the memory, Mr. Carnby?
Carnby. Professor Edward Carnby. Researcher. Paranormal investigator. Huh? Disappeared under strange circumstances in 1938. 100 years old.
You're the only one that can stop this, Edward. I'm just too weak. You must proceed down the path of light like you've been preparing to do for your entire life.
The hands of Venus will shape the lock.
I'm surprised they didn't show quick travel. They love showing that scene in these things.
So it appears that there's a second medallion. It's got to be this key we're looking for. I think you need both stones at the end of the path of light. The person who reaches the end of the path of light will have to make a critical choice concerning the fate of humanity. This person will call the Lightbringer to Earth.
Like people, Central Park.
What was that one in the middle of like a waterfall? Well, where was that? In Central Park?
One of them can save us.
Oh, you remember, it happened last time on Alone in the Dark. Like, because it showed it.
I think I would remember that.
Alright, so we still have... I think I remember the number to get is 70. We need 70 insight. And we have...
Okay, mouse works here. Oh, wait, no, third person. Right, you can't move the camera in third person.
Right.
It's coming back to me. Also gotta remember all the controls. All the other controls, that is. Okay.
We have 56 insight? Yes.
Yeah, but there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 hotspots on the map. So some of them count for double, triple, quadruple, etc.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
Well, I expect this will probably take 2.5 hours, and the last mission will take however long that takes. Okay. Get a quick stock of things. I am almost thinking drop a medical spray, take another explosive bottle with us, maybe the one on the ground right over here. It was somewhere around here. I know, because we walked past it and it showed up on the screen. And just be ready to toss bombs
I mean, maybe lose the... It looked like you had the liquor bottle, and that seems like those are less useful than the explosives.
Well, you can use them as explosives, remember? They're Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, but like the...
And also we need them for coating our bullets.
You can't do that with the explosive bottles?
Oh, maybe you can. In either case, we need to get rid of a medical spray. We need to have 3 of these things.
Okay.
Yeah, so use this up
before you
first.
Get rid...
Yeah.
Yeah, about to say, before you do that.
I know. Ain't my first rodeo. Oh. We're gonna need to do a part due on that.
How like nervous do you think cowboys are at their first rodeo when someone tells them like, you know, be sure you don't mess this and that up?
Oh,
and, like,
jeez, this is my first rodeo, though.
Yeah, they have no retort for it. They're just like, yeah, I guess you're right.
Don't tell me this is your first rodeo.
There's this 5-second. It's time for another kill the joke by explain it kind of thing. But there's this 5-second film I really like where it opens up on a cowboy sitting on a bull and he's just looking pensively at another cowboy like standing on the ground level, and he goes like, "Bill, I lied. This is my first rodeo." And then it just cuts to black as the thing like takes off.
Good old 5-second films. Also, hello to Zorzamoth. Greetings from co-host.
Hello.
We were also on co-host. I'm glad the co-host posts get out to folk. All right, first one. I need you to keep count for me. So once we knock this off, it'll be 14 left.
Okay. Well, I mean, it'll say in the upper right of the screen, like, how many...
But that counter is not a counter of how many there are, because, as I explained, some of them are worth 4 points, 2 points.
Well, you're not getting
points.
all of them. You're just getting up to 70 points.
So about that. I'm gonna get all of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a 100% playthrough of Alone in the Dark. Oh, I can stealth past this guy. He doesn't even see me. Maybe he won't notice this either, as I... no, let's do it like this.
I think that did use a bandage when you
Whatever.
selected that.
I think
he
he
didn't like
noticed
that.
me. I think he caught on. So I figured out that to successfully put down enemies using the ley lines there, you need to light up all the lines. They have one on their back, so to get the one on their back, I need to shoot this guy until he is, like, on the ground, and that will, hopefully... So now I douse the gun with the...
There you go.
So there we go. And that's how you put down a humans, as they're so eloquently called in this game, as you discovered last episode, that all the villains in this game are just the name of the species they are with a Z at the end. So rats is, and so forth.
Not that many, though. All I remember is humans and rats. I don't know if
now
bats
saying
may be one of
gorillas. Little did we know
yeah.
that gorillas were tied into the Alone in the Dark universe all along. Alright, next one. Yeah, we'll go around clockwise.
I was about to say, yeah, you might want to work in an order. Elvis the Culture Creator says ants. Video Game King says brats.
Let's just do every brand that ends with a Z. Every cool brand from the mid to late 2000s. But yeah, you know, homie Rollers. No, it's Rollers,
Invisimals.
I'll have you know.
Invisimals also does not end with a Z. The Sony augmented reality game. It ends with an S. Oh, there's a Z in the middle. So they're part way into transforming into zombies. That Z is just going to slowly, like, migrate over to the right.
Standing next to this can't be good for me, right? Like, long term.
I mean, you know, just get your testicles checked in about 2 years just to make sure.
Magic Meow is asking, do we have to get all these? Well, you know, technically no, but in my heart, in my mind, in my soul of souls, yes. The compulsion to clear the map in me is strong, so yes, we have to get all of these. Whoa!
You know, I was saying,
well, that's how you lose a car. I hate to see that. Well, now there's your problem.
I was about to say that I was giving that joke about like Carnby gotten to check himself for, you know, cancer and stuff, but we don't know if he's going to live past the end of this game.
Yeah, we don't know.
This game's going to end.
I have some strong suspicions, by which I mean the endings of this game are kind of legendary. So I've been exposed to both of them.
I have two, but I forgot. I just remember one line in particular. Well, you're not making it over that jump.
Yeah, we gotta go around. So I was gonna say, I was going to say that to follow up on a point I made earlier and that I've made in all these episodes so far is that I think this game really has some novel ideas that aren't perfectly executed, but I still see folk in the chat every episode as being like, man, this game sucks, man, this is rotten, and I want to disagree with that to some capacity. I get why this game is rated low, I get why critics don't like it, but the critics have never been right, have they? Okay, fuck this car, by the way. Clearly this is not the way through, let's just hoof it on foot. I don't know, I think the open world stuff is some of the best stuff in the game because I think the thing that makes this game interesting, or the thing I like most about it, is the stuff that isn't super structured. I think there's a merit to having an open world-esque survival horror game. I mean, look at the success of a DayZ. Right, what is that if not open world survival horror? And this is a contained map.
Look at the success of the day before. Oh.
But you know, like,
to be fair, that game wasn't that, and it wasn't a lot of things.
It wasn't what they sold folk on, for one thing, so... Alright, we're gonna have to really pitch this one. Probably from that little platform over there, unless there's a way to actually walk over there. I wish I had a pair of binoculars or something, so I could see all the way out, but... I know, I think the worst stuff is the stuff... Oh, that doesn't count, though. It doesn't have zoom. It's...
a novelty lens.
Oh, that's not even... Okay, yeah, so we're fine from the angle we were at before. But I don't know, the improvising, the solving, the puzzle solving that is not meticulously scripted, where you have, like, open interpretation to figure out how you're going to get a bottle over there. The combining items, I think, is one of the most interesting things in this game that more games could have possibly followed in the example of.
I feel like, from my perspective, you should get that.
Let's play it safer.
You wouldn't get that. From my perspective, I don't think they did enough with the open-endedness. Like, it still feels in a lot of cases like there is one solution. At least to me, from the outside view of not playing this, but...
I can definitely grant you that a lot of them, because there are such limited means of interaction, but, you know, it means, like, you know, do you want to use these bottles? Do you want to use... That's one of the best things this game does, is it's how you manage resources, how there's items that have multiple uses, I think is a really novel and good thing, that, you know, So one of the things I don't like is the controls.
I mean, you're saying managing resources, I also feel like the limited inventory is fucking rough. Oh, no, well, okay, if you were to ramp that, how would you escape?
I don't think they're implying I should ramp it. I think they're just
Okay.
trying to use a cinematic camera to show me that there's a thing over here, which, don't worry, game, I know. I'm here, I'm here for it. It's why we came all the way out here.
I think again, outside in, I'm not the one playing it, but I think the biggest thing I see as an issue with this game is that limited inventory, like how limited it is.
I mean, Resident Evil 8 slots, 6 slots.
Yeah, but in this game, like, they have to do so much to get around it, like the infinitely respawning, like, this is what you need solve this things because you can't carry everything around with you.
I think the
So they
solution
need
would
to
have
give
been.
you, like,
I don't remember if I said
spots.
this last episode or if I thought of it between episodes, but having dedicated spots on the map where you're sure to find certain resources, and maybe like having like the ability to like pack stuff away in a car, like to have like a dedicated car to make the cars more practical by saying stow this stuff in the trunk so you can have a stockpile of explosives in the back of this car, and if it blows up, that's on you for putting all your eggs in one literal and proverbial basket. What?
I thought that was a sneeze.
Where did these guys come from?
Sorry. You know what I think would like improve it, I think, to the point of being fine in my mind, is if I know Resident Evil did this, but that was a game from the 90s. If necessary items did not take up a spot in your inventory, like that lens, that once you get to that lens, you have now lost one spot in your inventory for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I can give you that one for sure. Like, to be clear, I'm not saying this game is perfect.
Yeah.
It's...
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I think that this is a this is going to sound demeaning. This is a good proof of concept for like a better game like this could have been. If they could have iterated on this, if they could have made Alone in the Dark 5, I guess, with these mechanics. Well, I guess they no, Illumination was the same setting but not the same mechanics, right?
No, it's a very
They didn't
different
play
game.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. If they could have, if they or any other studio had like really iterated on this whole thing, I think it could have been great. They didn't get that opportunity. No one's really, to my knowledge, no one's really picked it up in the same way that Alone in the Dark tried to do. And this game just isn't all the way there, but it has like a hell of a lot of promise.
No, don't throw it. I need to...
First person.
Yeah. We're out of ammo, by the way, which is why I had to resort to this. Oh, that was it for that charge. Yeah, and, it's interesting to see, like, a lot of the sites that were covering this game back in 2006, and when they first showed this game off at, like, E3 and the like, and it looked like they had a lot of the blueprints in place. The Carnby model was different, but a lot of, like, the Central Park setting, the fire effects being, like, one of the big selling points, and I think the whole idea of it being very set-piece driven were all established at the start. And that was the point where it was like a full open world game, I believe. So what did they hone? I would love to know what changed and how long it took to change and like things like that. I think there's a story that needs to be told about this game. I don't know if anyone has told it in like scattered pieces, if there's even been like hints of it. But God, I would wish there was. And I'm just realizing now that the reason why I can't pick up that ammo is because we picked up a second stack of batteries at some point.
Ah.
So how about we take one of those batteries, put it in there, drop the stack. Like, if there was a quicker way to do... If this was a VR game, managing this inventory would be a different matter entirely. I don't know, there's so many thoughts I have about this game, and it's hard to compartmentalize them, or it's hard to, like, be coherent about them when I'm not, like, don't have the benefit of writing and, like, laying them out and really fleshing them out. So I don't know if I'm doing the game justice in the way I kind of hope I'm doing it justice. That, I tweeted earlier, when I announced this, the announcement basically read, like, hey, let's see if this winds up in my list of games I'm going to have to champion from here on out, of games that I feel have gotten, like, a somewhat unfair rep. And that really seems to be the way it's going for me. I don't need this cutscene.
Elvis the Culture Creator says that feels like State of Decay seemed like it was pitched as, this, but actually committed to the open world bits. And yeah, I forgot about that in terms of, like, looking at open world survival horror. Like, yeah, State of Decay, that series. You ever play those? I have not, but
I think I played the first one. I did not play the Squeakquel.
I was interested in playing it, but
cool
at the time
there.
I did not have an Xbox. I did not have a PC at the time. I could play it now if I wanted to, but I think that's a game that's like better co-op from what I've heard.
Yeah, that seems to be my recollection of it as well. I think we have to ramp this. I think we have to try and ramp this. This feels like a bad idea, but this is so naturally set up for...
I mean... Huh?
Excuse me?
The game's like, wow, I can't believe you did that.
We never expected anyone to actually make this. I mean, I know we have a cutscene that highlights that you're supposed to do this, and there's no way to reach it from over there, but...
I want to say this is one of the other ones that Charlton Wonder complained about in his video on this, which I still have not finished.
Speaking of videos...
I'm so behind on YouTube.
Speaking of videos... I have a bone to pick with one today. Yeah, as long as we're looking for something to talk about.
Yeah, I was trying to find a way to like work it into conversation earlier. I was gonna like make reference to it and get you upset. But no, if you want to get yourself upset over it,
you know, it's just, you know, Bad Game Hall of Fame. We're sort of experts on the domain, on the territory of bad games. I like to think. I like to sell myself, purport myself as. We've been doing it for a while, and you know, it's just frustrating when I'm watching a video about bad games. Like, oh, this might be cute. This might be fun. This maybe I'll learn about a new game, or maybe I'll see someone who's as passionate about this weird shit as I am, and we could be best friends. But then it'll just be like, so let's talk about the crash of 1983 and how it affected everything and how the most important thing that ever happened in video games. I'm just like, fuck me.
Oh, I found this is not the solution.
This is what I'm doing right now. Is not.
I think unless I'm looking at like the wrong thing. Is there any way down there? Like bottom floor? No.
No, that looks like an instant death.
Never mind. Okay,
I just have to try this. I've been hesitating on trying this. I think if I toss it close enough, then just blow it up in midair, and then maybe, just maybe, like if I do it.
I see what it is. The other one he was complaining about was one that you saw at the last episode.
It just doesn't have the reach. Can I get on top of that big old tree? No. There just has to be some angle we're missing here. That has to be a solution. That there's just some.
Yes.
One of these just has to get us like just close enough to. No, fire bullets are not the solution to answer magic meows. I wish they were. We could dump a whole mag in it, but nothing would happen. You would think it's that ramp. I really thought it would have been the ramp. I really thought it would have been driving a car onto there, but. Anyway, you know, so when a video starts telling you about the video game crash in 1983, first of all, hack. You know, that's like talking about like how Super Mario Bros. 2 was Doki Doki Panic, and just like, you know, it's just like exhausting. It's shit that everyone already knows about. But to put like so much importance on it, like it mattered outside of America, like it mattered at all. You know, outside of just like Atari, like the fact that like everything we know about it, right? That, you know, these two games underperforming is what did the whole industry in. Like that's just Atari revisionist history. That's just the coked up executives whose fault it was that Atari crashed, like getting away with it. It's all that is. And so to see a video from a channel with like 200,000 subscribers that gets like 600,000 views over the course of a day, and it's just like, oh, they just didn't do any research. They just didn't do a fucking thing. This is just like this straight bullshit.
Huh? Okay. Is this... Okay. You're on the west side of the map, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. Okay, so it says that part is not clear. The cliff you drive off of was not meant for you to land on the tree. If you notice, there are two ramps. The second big ramp is actually a catapult with a burning car at the bottom end. You drive off the cliff into the second ramp, and your car will lower the ramp on your end, which will elevate the same ramp on the other end and send the burning car flying into the tree.
They didn't show that in the fucking camera angle. They didn't fully convey that with the camera angle.
If this is the one they're talking about, because it's someone saying, help with the evil root high on a plateau.
All I know is that I have to go all the way around here, by the way. So, like, parts like this, where they thought they were being clever, these are the parts that suck. People talk about the crash now, about the 1983 crash. I remember how people used to call ET the worst game ever, despite the fact that ET is not that bad. www.badgamehalloffame.com, our very first articles about ET the extraterrestrial, and about how it's not that bad. And, you know, same thing goes for Pac-Man, where it's just people who didn't understand how emulators worked back in, like, the late 90s who gave that game the negative reputation that it has. And, like, people talking about, like, they made 10 million copies of each of them, and so they had to, and there weren't even enough Atari 2600s at the time to facilitate. It was like all this shit, all these hack talking points that got debunked back in, like, 2004 that were still relitigating, that YouTubers are still, like, propagating. Like, the second you see that shit in a video, fucking run, because whoever's telling you did not do any amount of work. Sorry.
There's another way to do this, by the way. Besides that, you see that lamppost? You can walk on that.
This works. I can walk on this. Oh, you know
says
why?
You can walk on that.
Check this out. Red dot sight on it. Red dot sight not on this. Red dot sight in objects we can walk across.
So it says from here you can probably.
Most definitely.
You should be able to throw it.
That's the best piece of advice we've had so far. Wherever you got that whatever source that is.
Game facts.
God bless them.
Thank you, the Dauntless, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know what they were talking about with, like, a car catapult and because there ain't nothing here.
That one was from PlayStationTrophies.org. Granted, that might be a different one. That is also on the west side of the map.
Oh, no,
Actually, hell, that is
74.
enough to beat the game.
Nope, 74 out of 100. We need 75. To Video Game King, to play devil's advocate, there is substantial important history to be learned from the crash. If Pong is when the commercial game market began, and the crash is when the overexploitation of labor popped the bubble, no, you're wrong. It has nothing to do with overexploitation of labor. It has absolutely nothing to do with any developers involved. The entire reason the industry crashed is because there was a bad earnings call in December of 1982. That's it! That's it! That's the only reason anything, and the whole reason Atari collapsed is because of one call that went bad and tanked the stock. That's the only thing that happened. Literally nothing else matters. Pac-Man, E.T., different consoles being on shelves, which they weren't even on fucking shelves, by the way, because Atari owned the shelves because they had deals with Sears and JCPenney and Montgomery Ward, where they could say, like, no, you're going to stock our shit exclusively. If you put a ColecoVision on the shelf, we'll fucking kill you. We'll pull our shit off the shelves, and you won't sell a fucking thing. No, there was an earnings call in December of 1982 where Atari admitted to their investors that they only had a 15% increase in profits over last quarter, and their stock tanked because they promised a 50% upturn. That's it. That's the entire story. Anything beyond that, any speculation, is bullshit, is lies. Retail glut, a fucking lie by Atari executives to pat themselves in the back for, you know, because they were so coked up they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, but they found a good scapegoat for it.
And that one earnings call crashed the entire video game industry, the entire world. Europe did nothing. Japan did nothing. There were no video games.
Yeah, it's been so long. It's been so many decades. To be clear. I know you are. I'm just saying that. God,
the audience
it's been
know.
So many fucking years, and we're still having to talk about this shit like it mattered at all. It didn't. It wasn't a video game crash. Atari crashed. That's it. That's the only thing that happened. The other companies went up. ColecoVision and Television actually sold the bulk of their consoles after 1983. Because Z-Reserve says, and it wasn't the first video game crash. No, it was. The 77's crash wasn't a real thing. That video that I just watched, the one I'm complaining about, which I'm not going to name by name, but they speculate there being a 1977 crash. It's not. There was just
What would have crashed in 77?
Pong
what are
consoles.
They implying crash?
The Pong consoles being a thing, and then Pong consoles not being a thing because there was a flux of those. That wasn't even a video game market. That wasn't video games. That was like electromechanical devices, basically.
Yeah, because I was thinking like...
I'm getting lost
an Odyssey
here.
crash? Okay. Yeah.
I need to figure out how to actually get over to the other side of the map here. I need to get a car. That's for starters. And yeah, to Swimmy Leone. ET is playable, yeah, it's very bad, but by modern standards, a lot of the 2600 games are very bad. It's not even that bad. It was interesting. It had, like, once if you read the manual, you don't get stuck in pits. You understand what the contextual icons on the map are, and it's a fairly forward-thinking game that was rushed out in 5 weeks by a guy who was very clever.
Z-Reserve says that the Pong thing might have been more of like a chip shortage thing than any sort of like what's the word I'm looking for? Market crash.
It wasn't even that, though. Yeah, like, there was a chip shortage, but also, like, those things weren't, like, exactly selling like hotcakes. Like, if you look at the history of, like, the first generation consoles, all those Pong consoles, like, the ones that were official sold fairly well. People would pick up other ones for discount, and those did okay for themselves, but, like, we're talking, like, you know, hundreds of thousands even, it's not millions, because they were still, like, a very, like, novelty thing. They were a toy in the way that people have talked about video games being toys as a fad, like they did back in the 80s. That was the era of it.
I want to check on something, because it's been a while, it's been a long while since I read that article. What truth was there to the E.T. buried in the desert stuff?
That's real, but there was a lot of stuff. It wasn't just E.T. They had a bunch of surplus stuff. Atari had warehouses full of shit they could not move between games and promotional materials, so that's what the dump site is. It's everything they had in their warehouses that they couldn't legally, just like, they didn't want to sell off because it would devalue them even further if they tried to sell it at auction or if they put it on, like, fire sale or whatever. So ultimately, it's the same way that, you know, like, clothing retailers like Abercrombie and Fitch, if they have excess product, what do? They don't give it to charity. They just cut fucking holes in it and they toss it in the trash, because it wouldn't cost them anything, but it would cost their reputation, I guess, if they sold it for cheap, and they want to have the, you know, the appearance of a designer brand and being exclusive. So if you just had, you know, people who needed the clothes wearing it, who didn't get it for much, who got it from, like, you know, Salvation Army or whatever, then yeah, that would somehow devalue the brand. That's all Atari was doing, was just making sure that by dumping that stuff and making it completely inaccessible, that they didn't have a, like, surplus of it in the market, and they weren't perceived as being, like, value branded stuff. That's all it is.
I vaguely remember hearing, like, about someone actually going out there and digging it up.
Yeah, there was a documentary.
That was like a bit.
There was a documentary. Howard Scott Warshaw, the developer, was there. It was the guy who wrote Ready Player One. He did a documentary. That's okay, I guess.
Okay, so here's the thing. I couldn't remember if it was a part of a documentary or a plot point in the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. So I was like, I don't remember if it was real or not.
I mean, the AVGN did it as a bit, and then the actual movie came out.
Okay.
So yes, AVGN did it first, before they did it in real life. But, yeah, there were plenty of ET cartridges, but there was also a bunch of other shit. There was a bunch of Pac-Man cartridges. There was, like, any cartridge you could imagine was a part of that landfill, is the thing. We're getting cinematic cameras for all these now. But there's also, like, stuff flying around. I feel like I can just... Oh, hello.
Excuse me, I was in a cinematic camera angle. Do you mind?
Bye-bye, birdies.
With a Z at the end. Whoops.
Did that kill me?
Yep.
In one hit?
You were pretty fucked up.
It must have been damaging me in the cutscene then, because I really thought... Anyway, that was the Cass Video Game History Minute, where I complain about things that have been historically misreported, because that is kind of like why the Bad Game Hall of Fame was created in the first place, was to rag on that shit. Was to be like, look at these fucking hacks, talking about the same... Okay, there's gotta be a way to get rid of these.
Would heal up first. Seems to be your first priority.
That arm was really hurting. Alright, that's all I got. There might be another healing thing in that little shack there. First, let's get the Magnum out. Flashlight. Load it. Fire bullets. And then maybe I can just shoot these things out the sky. Yeah. Swimmy Leone, there's a lot of bad history of video games. My favorite is the thankfully now dead nonsense that id sold the Wolfenstein engine to Wisdom Tree to get back in Nintendo for censorship. Bad Game Hall of Fame / Super-3D - Noah's Ark. Or just go to badgamehalloffame.com and search Super 3D Noah's Ark for the full story on that, which I covered years ago and hopefully contributed to the dispelling of that particular bit of rumor. Because yeah, that's another thing. Someone in our Discord was actually talking about making a list of just like hack YouTuber talking points that have been like debunked historically, that people still fucking parrot because they sound like good stories, even if they're complete nonsense, even if they have no basis in reality. And then there's more of them than you think.
For example, you kind of mentioned this earlier, when people say that Super Mario Bros. 2 was based on Doki Doki Panic, there was actually games made completely separate from each other, just a really huge coincidence that they played exactly alike.
That's right. That's true. Yeah, it was actually Sonic the Hedgehog that was based off of Doki Doki Panic. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was a ROM hack of Doki Doki Panic, and
they fucked it up real bad. It was nothing like it.
And that's how they got it under the radar.
Yeah.
I also love people who talk about Ocarina of Time is built on the same engine as Super Mario 64. No one knew what an engine was back then. Engines weren't a thing.
I've never even heard that.
It's because they share like a couple lines of code and how the cameras work or something like that, you know, and people will extrapolate that to mean... Because people love talking about engines, and I just realized I fucked up by using the last of my ammo there. I need ammo to shoot this thing. So let's hope there's some bullets in here. Oh, there we go.
Yep, there were.
And some bandages. My cup runneth over. Soul stuff saying Lone Dark 2008 was originally a GTA game. Yeah, this was going to be Liberty City at first, but, you know, things didn't work out. Oh, no, I see how they're making me, like, problem solve here. Look.
Oh. Do you think you can get it anyway?
Maybe. Let's try it. At the arc of the... I know what they want me to do.
Yes, I see it too.
But I don't want to stick something to one of these fucking guys. I don't want to count on that and then have to shoot them out the sky. Let's just hope I can do it this way. Oh, this might... No, there's an invisible wall here. Look at that.
Cool.
Oy vey. Alright. Leave me alone long enough to get this done. Please. Or at least give it a shot.
I think that counts. Saw it recoil.
Yeah, we got it.
Alright.
Game tried to trick us, but, can't be tricked. You know, fool me once. Shame on, you know, can't fool me twice. Let's get the fuck out of here. Anyway, you know, I used to write articles. You can check them out at badgamehalloffame.com. That's basically what I'm trying to get to here. And that, also, you know, never trust any YouTubers except us. If you're watching this on YouTube, unsubscribe from every other channel and just subscribe to Bad Game Hall of Fame.
No. Subscribe to Grimbeard.
Yeah, we do. We are Grimbeard supporters here. We are Grimbeard aficionados.
You should probably also subscribe to Austin Eruption.
Yeah. There's a couple YouTube channels, as it turns out.
Digital Foundry did put out a good Road Rage video the other day.
I don't know. It just feels like... Re-Res is a good channel. Stop Skeletons from Fighting. Yeah, I don't know why I would mention those two. It's definitely don't like have like personal connections to those two or anything. So you know, there's some okay channels out there. It's just so unfortunate when I'm watching a video and I'm like, oh, this has like potential. The editing is kind of tight. Maybe it's someone that I could write for in the future. Maybe I could, you know, shop some scripts to them. And it's like, oh no, they're just a hack. No, they're just getting, like, really basic information wrong. You know, I could correct them, but what's the point? They're not going to read my comment. Who am I? Just a person who has, like, you know, this amount of audience, and I guess the only way to be taken seriously is to have audience at this point. It's not a matter of, like, you know, how well-sourced anything is, or, you know, how convincing your arguments are, or, like, what kind of, like, receipts you bring. It's just a matter of, do you have enough subscribers to get the message out, to get the word out? That's all that matters. And I'm fortunate enough to work with people who have, like, platforms that I can leverage to my own personal gain in that way, but...
So to that end, folks, it's almost Sub-Year's Eve. Right now, it looks like there's actually a discount on gifting subs.
Sick air. Oh God, these guys jumping on top of the cars. I could do without that. I get why it's here. It's amusing the first time it happens. I'm over it. I'm just gonna hit and run this one, hopefully. Or maybe this one's gonna be a bit more complicated, looking at it from a distance here, and not seeing the routes immediately. Yeah, I think we're going underground for this one. Making some lovely sounds, too.
Are you hungry, or?
Yeah, sorry, I haven't eaten yet.
This is a present.
Oh, thank
from
you to
me
the
you.
anonymous gifter.
Very cool, thank you kindly. Enjoy your sub, Red Fox Scion. I'm trying to approach this, trying to find the angle where I will either find the route, or find the entrance that'll take us down below, or anything to do with marking this off the map. It's gotta be up.
Yes.
In fact, I think I see it.
Oh, this is the one I was reading about. Okay. Remember when you said, like, I have no idea where that thing is that they're talking about? That's the thing. I think.
Oh, yeah, I think I'm...
Yeah, this is exactly the one. Okay. So... I'll read this thing again. If you notice there are two...
not yet. Give me a minute, because
Okay.
I vaguely remember it, but I want to see if I can solve this on my own. I feel like we've become very reliant on guides, and it's a good thing to have it handy for when I do get stuck, so it's not like, you know, stream poison as I walk around in circles like the upteenth time, but at the same time, you know, a measurement of quality is seeing how intuitive these puzzles are to solve. The streetlight thing was not intuitive, but it was very handy. So I would take points off for that one.
I mean, I'm a Souls player. I'm used to having a wiki open, like, at all times.
Yeah, I suppose so, but, you know, part of the appeal of those games, and we want to talk about, you know, like, classics of gaming, we want to talk about games history, I mean, like, Tower of Draga is where all this stuff comes back to. The most referenced game on the Bad Game Hall of Fame. The most referenced game in video game history. The game responsible for all of Japanese game design for the past fucking 30 years, 40 years coming up on, is Tower of Draga in the arcade.
Where does Xevious rank on that
not highly.
scale?
I mean, I guess for shmups, sure, but like in terms of like Tower Draga, and the reason I mention is because like that was the first game to like really like indulge in mysteries and like eccentric logic that you have to employ. And you know, so what was the solution for that stuff? Before we had an internet, it was putting post-it notes on the arcade cabinet to say, hey, here's what I figured out for the next player to come along, and if you can get further than I can, if you have enough yen in your pocket to get past where the rest of us did, you take notes, you problem solve, you get to that point, and you tell us what you think the solution is. And that was how people, like, collaboratively solved puzzles back in the day. And what is Dark Souls, if not the logical progression of that?
It's a lot to fit on one post-it note.
Well, very compact letters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but, you know. So, like, yeah, that's like a major touch point. That's something that doesn't get covered enough in, like, hack YouTube videos. They could be like, this is the perfect YouTube video I'm pitching right here. If wants to steal this idea from me, just fucking pay me afterwards. But saying, the most important video game you've never heard of. Of course, a lot of people will have heard of Tower Draga. It's immensely popular. Everyone in Japan knows it. But if you want a title for an American audience, a primarily English-speaking audience, that is title to go with. Make it about Tower Draga and how it influenced all other games to follow. And there you go. Million views.
You're describing Jeremy Parrish's channel to an extent.
That's true too.
Other YouTuber to follow.
Yep, another person I've contacted, had communicated with. Thank you, another gift sub going on in the chat.
Oh yes, thank you. Whoops.
Yeah, you couldn't get enough traction there because there's some geometry there that like immediately slows your roll just as you're coming up on it. So I'm not
gonna say it out loud, but I'm gonna look at the solution again just to see what.
Because I feel like there should be a way to get it on there.
That big burning ramp there. Is there anything at the? No. Okay. It's just a ramp. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there we go. So ultimately that worked. I don't know if there's another solution to that, but that seemed like an intuitive one. It worked. It got us here. We won't die when we fall off of it, hopefully. And yeah, we can just toss
a bottle. Drive off of it.
Yeah, we should be fine to come off of this. All right. Oh, what's this on the ground here? Nothing. Just it's one of the rear view, side view mirrors of the car. Oh wait, hold on. Look at this.
What am I looking at? Oh, it's a rope. Okay.
So we can totally use this to get down.
I don't know what it's connected to.
Well, you know, something.
Just like.
Anyway, that's another way to get down in case maybe your car blew up. So they thought about it in some capacity.
Naturally growing cables. Alright, so the map.
Yep.
Where are we at?
I wasn't keeping count, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we've done 6 so far. And again, we could go to the end of the game now, but where's the fun in that?
Do you think you'll unlock anything at 100, except for a trophy if you were playing this on a console? Do you think there's anything to unlock for getting 100%?
I will unlock a sense of accomplishment for having derived the maximum value and playtime out of this game. Is what I will unlock. That guy landed on the roof and then tripped and fell. He just slipped right off.
It's hard to do that. You ever try jumping on the roof of a moving car? A taxi, no less?
I have a story I want to tell, but I need to be very careful in how I tell it, as to not give away personal information about myself and the school college I attended, and things of that nature. I went to film school. Where
already doxed.
And there was a kid in one of our classes, and who was in several of our classes. It was a small program. It was a small college, but they were obsessed with like action movies and zombies and things of that nature. And they wanted to make an action series. They wanted to make action movies, and so they really wanted to like star, direct, and write, and like do everything themselves basically. And we had a web series assignment.
A real black tank top.
Yeah, no, exactly. A young black tank top in the making. And so he was hyping up his series, which one of the episodes involved him bringing airsoft guns to the college for a shootout scene that he filmed at the college. Right, if you're filming your college project at your college, you're already a fucking hack for not like finding a location. I say this because I did this as well when I needed to just like cheat my way through projects, but to bring the guns is a whole other fucking, and this is like, you know, 2000s, let's say early 2010s, late 2000s is when I was in college. So just a horrible idea all around. And then he was talking about like, yeah, I'm going to jump through a window, I'm going to break some glass over my head in this next one. The teacher would always tell him like, just don't do these things. These are bad ideas. And then the ultimate was, all right, so for the final episode, the final stunt we're going to do, I'm going to jump from the roof of one moving vehicle to another. And teacher's like, I'm going to cut you off there. You are not doing that. If you're doing that, even if you like survive, I'm failing you for the fucking course, basically. And he's like, well, I already shot it. And so we got to watch the series, which has the lowest production value of all time, where all the stunts he'd hyped up had like undersold, like very much. Like, you know, the breaking the glass over the head, he got like some like sugar glass that didn't look like real glass at all, and it broke into like the 2 lumps basically. So the least convincing effect imaginable. The jumping through the window was he put up a sheet of paper, like long paper, in front of like an open like, you know, glass door, and so he jumped through that, and the paper just kind of crinkles as he jumps through it and lands on the other side. And so what do you think?
I'm gonna break this glass over my head.
And so what do you think the moving car stunt was? What do you think that ultimately effectively amounted to?
All right, let me think about this for a second. I'm guessing 2 ice cream trucks going through a school zone.
No, it was just like two cars on the road, and they slow down, and then stop as they get close to each other, and then ultimately he kind of like rolls over from one to the other. He rolls like from the roof of one onto the hood of the other, and just like a very like lame effect. And when the teacher saw that, he's just like, okay, all right, fine. I'm gonna fail you for this because it's a horrible a video you've made, but at least you weren't like as reckless as I expected you to be. That kid is probably doing better. That kid probably made it further in the film industry than I did. If we're being honest here, the part where I say like, you know, I failed, I got into commercial work, I hated it, and then I dropped out. So that kid is probably still like passionately pursuing this stuff. So ultimately, who's the hack at the end of the day? It's me, because I didn't pursue my dreams.
So.
But also fuck the industry.
Question about film school.
Sure.
I come at this from a perspective of someone who has taken like creative writing classes, but in the lens of like someone who takes like film making classes, how much are you graded like based on the quality of the plot of your films? Do you care about that, or is it more like, oh, well, you did these like technical aspects correctly?
It depended
like,
on the
your
class.
Plot shit,
there were screenplay classes where you very were specifically like ranked on like the quality of writing, and people were not good writers in that college, and I wasn't either. But at least like I wrote comedies, which never landed, so I could at least like say like, you know, the sense of humor didn't jive, but I at least have like a couple like the plots would make sense, which is more than can be said for most other projects. I am struggling, by the way, to figure out like how to I think we need to circumnavigate this entire lake, because this water, we can't walk on top of it or do anything with it. You know, some kids would just write racist shit and just screen out for the class. They would write like, you know, black characters to have like to be eating watermelon fried chicken for their college projects, which they screened like on like big screens in front of like the school.
Jesus Christ.
And I would have to be the one who raised my hand and said, hey, what the fuck was that? Because I always raised my hand, I always participated, I always had something to say about everything that got screened there, and you know, I expect people to pay me the same courtesy. Good thing it got me out of that car. Good thing it teleported me to the other side. But you know, then there were classes where it didn't matter at all, and where all that mattered was like your ability to like handle a camera and to understand like what lighting was. So it was course contingent, and I did better with like I went in for editing, so I just wanted to like always have an excuse to be editing stuff, is what it amounted to. Now, if I were to go back, one, I wouldn't do film school, but if I had to do film school, I'd probably focus more on the writing, I'd probably focus more on, like, the screenplays, probably play more to some of my strengths, not burn out on editing, like, 6 months after getting into the industry, you know, just little small tweaks, little life hacks, little pieces of advice I would give myself, looking back on it. But, you know, you live and learn. And that piece of paper got me jobs in industries completely unrelated to film. So that's ultimately... Go to college, get yourself a piece of paper. It doesn't matter where you go to. It doesn't matter what college you go to or what fucking courses you go for. That piece of paper is all that matters. That'll get you into any job that requires a college degree. Even if they say, you know, it has to be in mathematics. Just be like, no, I didn't do mathematics, but hey, I'm passionate about this. I can learn on the job. People just want to see that you went to college. People want to see that you paid a bunch of money to get into college. That's all they want to see. That is my life advice to people. Unless you're like going to be like a doctor or something, obviously, right? Like, obviously there are fucking careers that require like the actual like relevant diploma. I sure tell you that social work and psychology don't give a fuck. I can tell you that much. Maybe psychology at a higher level, but certainly not jobs that I've had, career that I'm currently involved in.
I remember plenty of therapists where I go in their office and framed on their wall is a diploma that just says, fuck that.
This has been the life advice with Cass segment of the show.
I just remember being very lazy with school in general.
Oh, same,
but,
yeah. No, I was a terrible student.
Going back to like the creative writing aspect of it was I just remember there was one project where we had to write and put on like a very short quote unquote play, just like a stage skit really, but we needed at least 5 or 6 people involved in each thing. So the idea was you had to write for like 5 or 6 people on stage. It wasn't phrased that way. It was phrased you need 5 to 6 people up there, and like you had X number of people had to talk. So I was like, I didn't want to do that because I wanted to just write for like smaller dialogue things, not have like a huge amount of people to write for. I'm not good with that, or wasn't good with that. So I was like, I know what to do. So the entire thing, pretty much the entire thing, took place as a freeze-framed inner monologue between a character and like debating stuff in his head and like personifying the debating things or whatever.
The voices as different characters on the stage.
Yeah, it was like the angel devil on the shoulder kind of thing. So I had like the 6 or 7 or 5, 6 to 7 people I needed or whatever, and they maybe had like one line at the start, and then freeze frame for the entire rest of the thing as there were only 3 other people actually talking. So I technically did it.
Good enough is.
The thing was, I had to start the thing over halfway through because somehow someone missed their cue when the only thing they had to do was not move.
That's an impressive fuck up. That's an impressive miscue.
They had to do one thing, which was put their purse on the table and then freeze.
You had one job
for the next 5 minutes, and like I'm standing there watching as we're like partway into the freeze, and it's just not there, and I'm just like I break character because I'm one of the people. Pause, and I'm like, stop. We gotta start over. Because that's like one of the big cruxes of the thing. And I think one of the biggest cruxes of the whole thing was that purse sitting there, and the person could not get that instruction of put your purse on the counter and then just don't move for like 3 minutes.
That's really challenging. I mean, that's because this is your moment. This is your time to shine. So you want to act. You want to be center of attention. I guess. Did I stick this? Oh, thank God I unstuck the car. This has been nightmarish, by the way, trying to find a way to get into this part of the map. This has been like the nightmare of my life, trying to find the one specific like spot that the game wants me to cross over into this. I think it's here.
That was also the creative writing class I had where, in the same assignment, where someone wrote their little play about... I say little play, mine was a little play too, I don't mean to be condescending. But someone wrote their thing about, like, the main character was blind, and they played the main character, as we were generally told to act in our own things. But they played the main character. I should note that the person playing the blind person was not blind.
I was gonna ask.
And I don't think she really understood how blindness worked, because she was definitely like reacting to everything visually happening around her. I think, to be clear, I think the character was supposed to be like 100% blind, but was still like looking over at someone and say, "Oh, hi, I didn't hear you come in." Like,
I can't hear anything, I'm blind.
To be fair, later in the year, we had to do like another thing, and she acted as a blind character again.
Wow, she really has an in for them.
No, but this time she was just like spent the entire time like yelling at everyone, like not even acting blind, but the moment that she did anything, she was just like, "But I'm blind," like laying into the fact that she did a really shitty job of being a blind character the first time. Which I don't know if that's better.
Yeah, that's
at least that shows like self-awareness of her being like, "Yeah, I did a fucking bad job the first time."
Alright, so we had to go on foot to get into this section of the map. not to distract from the stories being told, because they are infinitely more interesting than trying to comment over this part of the game, but yeah, getting to this center of the map required ditching vehicles completely and finding a singular footbridge to take. This guy really did not want to die. This zombie, or humans, was really trying to get away from me. But I can't have that, because the second I turn my back on him is the second they stab said back.
Anyway, I guess the ultimate point of that is that I think everyone in the class there was really into what they were doing. But I think the number of people in there were not that good at it.
Yeah. That will happen with any given course. Do you want to know when I figured out that I liked writing?
Go for it.
Because this happened in college. I was taking 2 courses with a professor I actually liked, because he was like a film snob who was like, it was like a film history course and like a film classics course, which don't ask me what the difference between those 2 courses was, because I couldn't tell you, because I wasn't like really paying attention despite liking the teacher. I would just show up, watch the movies, and be like, hey, I got an excuse to watch a movie, and I was the only person in the class who was into it, because it was like some weird like 1920s silent film that no one else, whatever, like that sort of class, you know? And so the assignments, we got our finals for that class nice and early, and they were to write for one of the classes. It was the same teacher. It was basically the same assignment for 2 classes, so the same assignment twice, which was write a 10-page essay with at least 10 sources about a film. And naturally, because I did not care at all during my schooling years, I forgot about both of these projects until literally the day before they were due. And it is when I realized, shit, I'm gonna have to crank out 20 pages and like properly source them and stuff and have them done in the next 8 hours, and then drive to school with like no like sleep whatsoever. And so I sat down and I expect, like, you know, maybe I'll get one done, and I can like be like, hey, the other one, I'll make up some bullshit about like the USB stick not working. I'll figure out some way to bullshit my way out of it, because I always find a way to bullshit my way out of it. Here's the waterfall, by the way. Here's the very festive part of Central Park. But ultimately, what I discovered was that I wrote 15 pages for each of them, with like 15 sources for each of them. And I thought, okay, so I managed to get through it, because they were movies I knew like the back of my hand. I picked 2 Akira Kurosawa movies, because I knew that would pop the professor, and I knew like Seven Samurai and what's the one, the Macbeth remake that Kurosawa did? Something Red.
No, off the top of my head.
The Throne of Blood, I think it is. So I wrote it on those 2, and I'm like, all right, this isn't my finest work, obviously, but I'll hand this in, and maybe the teacher will like look past me it being like very sloppy. So I show them to him. I print them out at the school, because I don't have a printer, because that's how fucking broke I am. I print them out. I pass them to them, and he's like, I'm just gonna read these right here. I was looking forward to these. I was looking forward to what you had to say. And I'm like, oh god, I'm about to disappoint this guy who's like apparently been like a supporter, who apparently like, likes me, and I'm about to like, you know, show him how much of like a like lazy piece of shit I am. And he's
like, Cassidy, I think you've confused the plot of Seven Samurai for Seven Samurai 20XX for the PlayStation 2.
That was my fuck up. Yeah, no, I didn't expect him to be so versed in video games, but so I show him the papers, and like I'm sitting there and I'm like talking to him while he's reading them. I'm trying to like distract him or do something, and he finishes reading them, and he's like, Can I hold these? Can I use these as examples? And I like joking at him, it's like examples of how not to write an essay, and he's like, no, like the best papers I've ever had. And I'm like, surely like you're fucking with me, like surely you can't be serious. Like no, like I could tell, like I think he could tell that like they weren't like my finest work. I think he could tell that, like, you know, they were sort of rushed. He's like compared to like the other stuff, like, you know, if you like turn these out like as quickly as you probably did, you probably took like 2 or 3 days to do this, right? Kids who spend like months doing this stuff don't turn in stuff as good, because they just don't care about it. And it's like clearly you care about this stuff, and like that's the thing that matters. And I'm like, yeah, sure, use them as examples. And that was literally the moment where I'm like, oh, writing comes easily to me. I still don't consider myself a writer. I still don't consider myself a talented writer. I still think I'm a fucking hack, for what it's worth. Everything on Bad Game Hall of Fame is very hacky, but it's passionate, and that's what matters. That's the point I'm trying to get to here, is that as long as you care about what you're writing, and care about what you're researching, if you're coming from a research perspective, from a historical perspective, as long as you give a shit about the thing you are writing about, it will probably turn out okay. Which is more than can be
I
said
have
for fucking YouTubers who are fucking hacks, who can't even be bothered to research about this fucking Crash of 83. Anyway.
So, I have a similar story about,
I need flammable
the
liquid,
first-
by the way. That's what I'm looking for.
I have a similar story about the first time I really enjoyed painting. Which was,
I'm fully aware of what I'm doing. Can you see?
About a month to do a portrait painting. Soul stuff
Fully
with the
aware
drink
of what
up.
I'm doing. Can you
And
see?
Guten Tag. Grenatag with the drink up. I keep saying Guten Tag. So we had like a month or a month and a half to make a portrait painting of anyone in this painting class I was in, and we had like class times to do it, but the only thing class was for was to paint, and we could come like anytime after hours into the studio to paint, and I just did not care about college in general, so I just never showed up.
Yeah.
So I just never showed up to classes. So the day before, or the night before, because it was a morning class, I went to the studio. There was no one there. I went, unlocked it, went in. I brought with me like my iPod and iPod stereo and a daiquiri, a huge ass daiquiri, and
now it's my kind of research.
had some people bring me like Burger King halfway through the night, but I spent like a solid, 8 to 10 hours painting this huge.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm holding the W key down for forward right now, and it's side strafing. I'm holding the A key now. I'm holding D right now. I'm like on a track. The controls are completely broken, out of nowhere. W.
Weird.
S. I'm not moving the mouse. I'm holding down S. W. A.
Do you need to save and quit and come back?
I have no idea, but like it's like the controls rotated 90 degrees. Camera still works. Maybe if I go into a menu and then back out of it. No, it's like there's like some weird axes of something going on here. Maybe I seem to get out of the zone.
You got your insight up too high.
Yeah, it's actually, I figured out the right way to walk. We've all been doing it wrong as a society for so many years.
Is it fixed or is it still broke?
No, it's still broke.
Maybe you need to restart.
This is A and D. I need to do like speed strafing. Wild Weasel 488 had the idea to going third person back in kicks the camera in the butt, maybe. Not quite. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening here, but I think I can just get it. I think I can just force it. I can just make this work somehow.
Where to leave off? Right. I had. Oh, that did it.
Yeah.
Painting due the next morning. Hadn't done a single thing with it. Go in there the night before, like after the sunset, with a daiquiri and some music. Spent like 8 to 10 straight hours painting this huge, like 4 foot by 4 foot portrait, which also wasn't a real portrait. What I had done was I messaged a friend. I found a stock photo of just some guy in a suit, and I said, "Can you fucking Gygas his face up a bit?"
Can you run trace bitmap on this? Yeah.
I was like, "Can you go into Photoshop and get the swirl tool and the expand tool and just like fuck his face up to the point of that I can't tell what it is anymore?" I specifically told him Gygas his face, and he sent it back to me. And I was like, "That's great." And I spent 10 straight hours painting that, and it was the most fun I had in college. The most I enjoyed doing anything in college was that 10 hours of in a big studio by myself painting this monstrosity. After I was done, there was like 2 hours before class, so I just slept on the floor, and I waited for everyone to come in. And that was what woke me up. I was like, "Oh, hey, I'm done." And people in the class really liked it. They all thought it was real good. And the teacher said, now, you never came to class. You just did this by yourself. Like, you did
I'm kind
it.
of a prodigy teacher. The thing you have to know about me is that I'm kind of an expert on these things.
He was like, well, the actual point of this class was to paint it with everyone together so we could talk about it, so I'm going to fail you. So, slightly different ending than your story.
It's slightly, ever so slightly. I think I might actually need to save and quit because these controls are starting to get to be a pain in the butt.
So yeah, I failed that class. I still call that painting. The actual title of the painting is My Real Estate Techniques Are Unstoppable, but I also call that painting the painting that failed me out of college.
Very good.
Because after that, I stopped giving a shit entirely.
It fixed, by the way. Saving and quitting.
Okay.
And reloading fixed it, which is good. I still don't have any... Oh, wait, no, I do have I do have a full armament on me. That's strange. And there's only the 1 point left.
I don't know.
I think the saves don't keep proper track of your inventory, like, at all.
I don't know if I've ever shown you that painting.
I don't believe you have.
I might have. You'll see it later.
So yeah, the note to self, like, if I ever have to replay this game at gunpoint, or just for fun, because I'm enjoying it well enough, if it gets to the point where you can't find explosive items in the environment and you're getting frustrated, just save and reload, and those give you some for free that I can go take with me to this point, and we can clear this part of the map off.
Again, that feels like they knew what they made didn't work entirely.
Gel. Yeah. I mean, the thing about bad games, right, or games that are considered bad, or, you know, this fear of game is that the people who make it are acutely aware of how it's turning out and what the reception's going to be, most likely. People don't, think, we just made the greatest game of all time, then it releases, why is this getting a 12 on Metacritic? You know, the developers are going to have an idea of how it's going to turn out, right? And so at a certain point in the development of this, they were probably like, okay, this is going to frustrate some folk. This didn't coalesce in the way that we expected it to. We can't fix all of it. We can mitigate the effects of some of it at the very least. Wild Weasel saying, unless said people are Derek Smart. Very good points. Unless your game is Battlecruiser 3000 AD, then it's a different story. And Magic Meow's pointing out that the player reception that Bethesda has been fielding with regards to Starfield and them being surprised by that. But, you know, generally speaking, I'm not talking about, creative directors here. Let's make a delineation between, executives and the people who are actually programming the games. Which, I guess in the case of Derek Smart is both, but again, fringe case, exception that proves the rule. If you are just, a boots-on-the-ground developer who is, tasked with bringing some creative's idea to fruition and making it, technically, feasible and programming the stuff around it, at a certain point, you're going to be acutely aware of this game is not shaping up in the way that it was envisioned. And you know, maybe some people will appreciate it, but this game is probably not going to do as well as was hoped for. It's probably not going to hit its projections, ratings-wise, or what have you. I imagine most developers are fairly self-aware of things like that. I cannot hotwire this car. Is there a key? No, I think this is just a fake car.
Or a broken car. That's another way to phrase it.
Yeah. So now I need to get back on foot and find a way out of this place that we had to get into in foot. On foot. So I know that takes me back towards the center. We want to trend eastward, if at all possible. I think I'm on the plateau here. I need to zoom in This is as close as you can zoom in. This is as much as this map zooms in.
My hunch is that there's that bridge to the north. That's where you have to get off.
I think so too. This stuff stinks. I can see why people don't love the open world in this. If this is the stuff they ran into, is the open world not being so open as you might think, having very specific points of entry and exit. of like one way into this entire section of the map. Like, the appeal of an open world game is that you can approach it from any sort of angle, that you can, like, sort of freeform it, right? That it's, what's the word? I feel like there's a word that would cinch this whole thing together. Oh, open, right? In an open world. So, yeah, that part's a little rough, and vehicles not being able to navigate, like, some of this stuff. And it's like the invisible walls, they're not really invisible, they're visible walls. The fissures that get in the way of you just having easy access to stuff. I would have done away with some of this sort of shit here. I would have not done it this way.
I just have this image in my head of Todd Howard going, "You see that mountain over there? You can't go there.
Yeah.
That one's mine. Stay away."
See that mountain? You can't climb it. It's a wall. It's not even really a mountain. In terms of technically, it's just a giant block that says you cannot go here.
It's the source error message model.
Can I go between the letters? No. The whole thing is...
You zoom in on the space between the letters, it's more source error message models.
It's a checkerboard pattern. It's just a bunch of pink and black squares. From here until the end. Alright, this is the way we came in. This is the way we're heading out. Our taxi's even waiting for us. How many explosives do I have on hand? 1, 2. How many more points do we need to blow up and or set on fire?
I know I forget what taxis have in their glove compartments, but it's something good.
I think it's a healing spray. Which
That's good.
Which is handy, to be sure. Especially if we want to burn some of the branches. And that's it. Hotwire this. I bet it's going to be blue and blue. Of course.
And I was on some, like, wrong shit about how those hot wiring things worked in, like, the last episode.
Yeah, mercifully it's not combinations of different colored wires. Mercifully it is just match the wire to the wire. But the fact that you still have to shuffle them individually in each hand by using left click and right click.
I think, I could be wrong again, but I think for the fuse boxes you had to do, like, way earlier, it was individual wires. That it could be mixed, but it's not for the cars.
I don't believe it was for those either.
Like I said, I could be wrong. I could be misremembering it.
Oh, right. I need to go up and around, and then we'll circle back, and then that land bridge in the middle there that we can take the car across, actually. So I tell you what, I'm gonna drive this way. So go from here. That's the one that gave us trouble last time, and they didn't have enough supplies on hand to deal with. We'll come back around, cross there, and then we can go to the end of the game here.
Have you gotten any unlocks yet?
No, I think it stopped giving them to us.
Okay.
I think we unlocked the end of the game. And the rest of this is just personal. So yeah, we need to decide what our next game to long play is going to be. Alone in the Dark on PS2 or Wii?
We'll get to that eventually.
Yeah, give us some time for people who have been requesting that. Tomb Raider: The Angel of Darkness, the DVD game? No.
Yes, that's our next one. No. Yeah, I mean, I know we were talking yesterday about choices for the Patreon/subscriber poll. So I don't. That's up to you when that goes up.
After we finish this, I'll type it up tonight and post it tomorrow, probably. Okay. Speed limit 25. Alright, keep an eye on the odometer. God forbid we violate the law right now.
Oh, okay, now I can't.
I don't think it's actually updating in real time, believe it or not.
Well, you're going at the speed of dark, as far as I could tell. Is this the seesaw thing?
I think this might be.
Where you have to fucking catapult that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's why we couldn't. That's why we had the ramp there. That we couldn't figure out what the purpose of it was. Or that I tried to take onto the platform up there. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. This will be interesting to see how the physics cooperate on this, or lack thereof.
Yeah. Nope.
Huh. Okay. This is familiar to me. I have flipped a car before in my life, so this is.
and that's how you got out of it.
Luckily, there's another car
windup,
here.
I guess.
It's gonna have to be, yeah. This also gives me an opportunity to see, is there anything in the glove compartment here?
Oh, what happened to those windows?
Not a real car. This is the real car.
Okay.
So let's check the glove compartment.
Tape.
Yeah, that's all right. The tape can stay. Oh, the key's just in the ignition on this one. That's perfect. Saves us the trouble. All right, wish me luck.
Yep, good luck.
This should be enough. In fact, we'll probably overshoot it like this, right?
Well, you know what? Better to assume you're going to overshoot it. You're probably going to lose a lot of speed on this ramp.
Okay.
There you go. It would have been extremely funny if it missed, but I'm glad it worked.
That was extremely scripted, by the way.
Yes.
There was very little room for it to fuck up there. They did not want to trust that with the actual physics they had implemented. Maybe at a moment in time,
Clearly.
that was an actual physics puzzle, but then they realized, oh wait, no one can solve this.
You know why Bad Rats is one of my favorite physics puzzle games?
Because the physics are inconsistent on every single run.
Yes.
So the right
Yes.
solution might not work just based on a complete fucking fluke. Bad Rats, badgamehalloffame.com. It's a classic article.
I actually didn't know you had an article on Bad Rats.
Yeah, I think I did that 2017, 2018. And I get into the whole history of the developers and how they pivoted from edutainment games back in the day, and how they've basically been coasting on this whole Bad Rats thing, and at the bottom was due to fall out on it, and it has in the years since. Wild Weasel asking, how is the Bad Rats squeakquel, Bad Rats show? It's fine. It's more Bad Rats. I think there's like a mediocre puzzle game buried under there. You might get some enjoyment out of in Bad Rats 1 and 2 if you can overcome like the bad physics, and if you play it without like the mode that just tells you the solutions to every puzzle. There's like almost like a fun little, what is it, Incredible Machine?
Yes.
Yeah. It's fine. It's fine in that sense. It's edgelord bullshit with like the suicide bombers dressed as like, you know, with the turbans on their head. Like all that shit is just like bleh. And the people who made the games are not good people, but they are some of Brazil's finest homegrown developers. They made a very influential FPS back in the day, one of the first homegrown FPSs to come out of country, which I believe is called Hades 2. So like some Brazilians might hear that and be like, oh yeah, Hades! And then be shocked to find out they're the same people who made Bad Rats, but, you know, that's the magic of the games industry. Oh, I went the wrong way. I went towards the end of the game. We're gonna have to back off of that. I mean, there's 7 points left to get.
We don't want this ride to end.
Oops. Yeah, I think there's like 3 more to go, if my memory serves. And I don't think it'll take super long. Some of the angles here are not great. Remember, this was a racing game developer, and what's one of the most frustrating things in this game? The cars. It's what's one of the things that really doesn't work in this? The driving. You know, the thing they should have been able to fucking nail. But you know, I understand how development goes. I just need to remember, like, focus west. Magic Mouse saying, gonna be sick when you get all the points and unlock the super secret infinite ammo assault rifle. Yeah, you know what's strange? How there's 2 weapons in the game. They're both pistols. One of them seems like a marginal upgrade over the other. And that's it.
Yeah, the way that the ammo said, like, ammo for all guns made it sound like there was gonna be more guns.
I thought it was gonna be like an SMG would be like the 3rd weapon, right? And it's like, it was SMGs can use like pistol caliber. There's like 9mm submachine guns, so I figured they would toss me one of those, and that would be like the end game weapon. But no, it's just a slightly improved question mark pistol.
Or we go the Deus Ex Invisible War route. It's like, yeah, rocket launcher takes this ammo, sure. Just takes more.
That could work, depending on the game. That game is just not balanced properly around it. It's not a horrible idea, it's just not an optimal idea. Or it would take a very specific balance, tuning to actually make, like, fun, you know? As opposed to tedious, which is what it mostly is in Invisible War, sad to say. And I don't hate Invisible War. I think it's fine. But I also am not, like, completely enamored with the original Deus Ex. For a few reasons. I mean, it's important. I wouldn't, like, slander it, but is it my favorite immersive sim? No. Better ones have come out, will continue to come out, etc.
What is your favorite immersive sim? You had to name one off the top of your head.
System Shock 2. Probably.
Fair enough.
Maybe, like, Thief. Would you... I could...
I'm trying to think of my answer.
Would you count? Some people would potentially count a Stalker. They would be wrong. I mean, they'd be
Stalker's
half right.
not immersive.
No, the least immersive game I've ever played.
Okay, I mean, I'm gonna say Stalker's not an immersive sim.
Yeah, it doesn't have like some of the trademarks, but it has a few. It dabbles in some of it. It aspires, and in its original design, like the Lost Alpha stuff that you look at. Or whatever. I think it had more ambitions to be that stuff at an earlier point in development than had to sort of streamline, sand off a lot of that stuff. But maybe Stalker 2 will come out at some point and finally be what they intended to make the whole time.
This is a bullshit answer, but I think the game that I would still classify as an immersive sim and then say the most fun I have had playing what I would consider to be an immersive sim is Streets of Rogue.
Is that the one that I fucking hate?
You hate it.
Yeah, I all I have is viscerally negative impressions of that game from having played it once, like 8 years ago or whenever. So don't take that with a grain of salt.
I know. But I got really into it, and I really like it. I do consider it an immersive sim for what it's worth, but it is not what you traditionally think of it as an immersive sim, which would be something in first person, I think. At the very least.
Immersive sim does not have to be first person.
Yeah.
What
most people would think of, though, is, I think... Because usually when people think about it, they're thinking of System Shock, and they're thinking of Deus Ex and Thief, and... I heard there was a good one that came out recently called like Control Alt Ego, I think is what it's called, which I have not played.
I died, but I still got the points.
Oh, one more left then, I think.
And I have still 2 bottles on me. That's perfect. Everything's coming up Carnby, I tell you what. It's yeah, and there's only one more to go, and it's on that obnoxious land bridge that bridges that. So I'm gonna have to get a car, go around that way, and yeah, then we can head to the end of the game. Magic Meow saying we need to get Doc Squiddy here to go on an insufferable genre tangent for several days. I don't know who that is offhand. I don't think. The name sounds vaguely familiar.
Now is a very interesting time to ask that question. So let's leave it at that. We don't have to talk about it.
Okay.
Too much more on stream.
Fair enough.
Yes, stuff has come out recently about that person.
Alright, we get in this car, we go across that bridge. I'm reiterating the plan to myself. Like the Vorkuta mission in Black Ops. Step 1, we get in the car. Step 2, we drive across the land bridge. Step 3, freedom. For me, Mason. Not for you, Mason, not for me. Join our Discord to watch us replay all the Call of Duty games.
I think we're taking a break right now, but yeah.
I'm very excited to replay Black Ops 2. And maybe I'll bring that to CNC Stream Factory someday so we can just go through all those games again, because I love those classic Call of Duties.
Alright, I think my favorite, more traditional immersive sim would be Dark Messiah of Might and Magic. And at least in terms of one I've
Oh yeah, the only good game by Arcane. I can feel you glaring at me through the.
No, I'm not. I haven't played. Yeah. I haven't played any of their other ones. Well, no. I take that back. I played Arx Fatalis, but that one's kind of definitely hard to play nowadays.
Is also okay, probably. But I tell you what, I hated that Dishonored, and.
I played a little Dishonored, but I was turned off from playing because I know, like, basically, if you want the good ending, you're not allowed to. I mean, you can kill some people, but like, they're basically like, you gotta do pacifist everything. It's like, no thanks.
No thanks. That's okay. I mean, that's how I usually play those games, but making it mandatory is.
But no, I haven't. I played like a little bit of Prey, and I like bounced off of that too. Although I heard Moon Crash is good.
Can you tell we're supposed to do this part on foot? That I'm cheating by bringing this vehicle over here? That they did everything in their power to not have me in this car as I get to this part, but at the same time, I would never walk across this entire bridge on foot because it seems like an absolutely fucking miserable prospect, especially with the enemies on the bridge. Anyway, yeah, here we go. And with a car, I can do this.
Magic Meow says, I think Prey 2017 is one of the most underrated games of last generation. I don't know, that game felt pretty rated to me. Like, everyone talks about how much they love that game.
Well, this is it. This is the beginning of the end. Camera took a second to catch up.
Patreon says it sold horribly and didn't get great critic scores. I didn't remember the critic scores thing, but also, I don't know. I'm not sure if I 100% agree. I mean, I can't disagree with like how it sold, but
oh, new spectral vision tips. Your spectral vision has reached its maximum. Thanks!
Go outside.
No new messages from anyone else. That's it. We're just gonna drive to the end now. Across this sick bridge. GTA, motherfucker! 10 points! That's a Resident Evil Apocalypse reference, by the way. It's I can't see anything because of the smoke. But that's alright. What's important is that we made it across. And that maybe there's some items in this building that I can use to heal myself, maybe? Anything? Not
also,
so much.
Prey is like a Metacritic of 82.
Yeah, I don't recall that game doing badly critically. I remember it not selling of a billion units, therefore it was a commercial failure by Square Enix's metric. I don't think they published that game. I'm just making a general joke about Square Enix's stupid metrics. But yeah, I don't remember. I remember like everyone basically agreeing like this game is great.
Who did publish that game? Let me look it up. Oh, Bethesda. Yeah, of course. Matchmaker says, I think I specifically remember IGN giving it like a 6 out of 10. That's IGN.
But don't say that. Don't.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying their reviews can sometimes like not necessarily be
in line with the
everyone
zeitgeist.
else's.
Sure.
Yes.
That's a more fair statement. You know, I don't follow IGN. To be clear here, I don't follow IGN, but people who are like, you know, like LOL IGN, taking IGN seriously, are just like morons who don't understand how review sites work or anything like that.
No,
I just want to make as many enemies as possible today. Is basically what I'm setting out to do.
With your classmates at college, and no, what I'm getting at is that IGN reviews don't necessarily step in line with whatever the zeitgeist is on something. They can be some of the more contentious reviews. I guess that comes with them being one of the largest review sites, is that they get, you know, some of the most eyeballs on their reviews. So when they do have a review that kind of doesn't jive with what everyone else thinks, it stands out more. But yeah, I mean, I would say I don't really take IGN as, like, when I look at reviews, I don't really consider IGN as much, because I don't think I necessarily agree with a lot of their stuff sometimes. But then again, that's a lot of review
Don't
sites.
speak as
I
a
don't necessarily.
You're still feeding into the problem here. I'm not taking like personal.
No, I'm saying
that you're talking about them as a pejorative, as like a thing. Like no,
well,
the point isn't to find the point is to find reviewers, not a review site.
Yes,
I mean, you follow the names, not the websites.
That's what I was getting at. I was going to say that I generally don't tend to agree a lot with the review staff there. But then again, I think I just don't tend to agree with a lot of the review staff in a lot of places.
Yeah, I mean the person I've always come closest to, and you know, obviously not 100%, because you'll never find 100% unless you clone yourself and you know, raise them to be a video game reviewer. But you know, Jeff Gerstmann. I've generally agreed with a lot of his takes on games. I generally tend to like what he likes, dislike a lot of the games for the reasons that he tends to dislike them. He's very expressive in getting across what works and what doesn't to him, and that's what you look for. You don't, and you'll follow them wherever you go, I guess, wherever they may roam. But being you get what I'm getting at. I would hope people who would watch a stream like this would understand where I'm coming from.
But also you know, a reviewer I follow that I feel like I tend to agree with a lot, which is Skill Up. Even then, he has a number of reviews where I don't agree with him, but I still watch him because for a lot of times I do end up agreeing with him in terms of his reviews. But okay, all that is to say is I think sometimes IGN has some of their review staff do have reviews that don't necessarily agree with what the majority opinion is.
Sure.
And people tend to focus on them a lot. So when I say, yeah, that's IGN, I'm like, don't be surprised if it's someone on that staff who, you know, has a dissenting opinion, because it's a big staff and all that. And I say I also don't tend to follow the reviews of a lot of individual review sites. I'll look at the aggregates. I think that's a decent metric of if something is generally probably okay or probably not. But even then, you know, something that gets panned can be a really good game, just everyone slept on it, or some people just didn't get it, or maybe I just have sicko tastes.
You know, the other big thing that I should also admit is I just don't follow a lot of modern games, so I very rarely have occasions to check those sites. I definitely don't keep up with nerd news, which is what IGN and GameSpot mostly do at this point anyway. The game stuff comes second to just engagement over the latest Star Wars whatever, and I could not care less about that shit. So you know, I just don't have a lot of occasion to check those sites, I guess. But I would still stand up for writers and editors and stuff.
Wild Weasel says, I feel like the problem with quote-unquote IGN kind of in that idea is that it can sometimes feel like they've assigned a review to someone who really isn't in the target audience. Can't speak to that in terms of my experience of having read their reviews. But, yeah, I don't know.
Some of this terrain, by the way, some of the hills we're going up have been stalling the cars out completely. So if you see me switching between cars and just trying to get to this goddamn waypoint, they've not made it easy. But I think we are very nearly there. And presumably there will be cutscenes soon to debut. There's the city. I think that's where the game started. I think we drove out of there to get to Central Park at a certain point. Oh. Huh? Interesting.
Close your eyes.
Good call.
Is that something? What looked like a crack in the wall there? I need to close your eyes again.
No, I think
that was a tree that was in the way.
I was not close to that, I didn't think. But where there's a will, there's a way. It doesn't help that the screen is also squiggly to the max right now, so it's making it hard to see, like, where I am relative to whatever is. But okay, nothing there. Okay. Can I toss something at that? Can I get something through it? Like, even if I can't cross over, can I, like, do it like this? No, I think it's gonna hit the wall. The not quite invisible wall, but...
Toss it over?
I have an idea.
I don't think there's anything to shine on.
Gotta find a crazy diamond to shine on.
Oh, sick JoJo reference.
Shut up! You'd think that would be something, that glowing thing, that it might have something to do with that.
I mean, it's probably something. I thought you fell off the cliff.
Yeah, so did I. Okay, let's get away from squiggly vision for a second. Let's get a more clear assessment of this. What happens if we drive a car through it?
You're probably gonna crash it.
Probably, but I gotta know. For sure. Also might be a good time to check our inventory. 2 bottles. Some bullets, guns, battery. Yeah, this is mostly fine. A healing spray would be nice. But what can you do? Oh, we'll get one in that taxi, right? No.
Not a taxi.
Just a yellow car. Alright. Oh, come on. I want to hit it at full speed. Let me have this. No. No fun allowed. Okay. I think you're right, maybe it has to be some, like, up and over sort of thing.
Odd.
And they're giving us lots of, like, bottles and stuff here, so... Let me... Oh, right, got too close again. Let me see this. If I take out my pistol... Is it hitting... the ground? If I shoot at the ground... Bullet hole. No bullet hole, so yeah. It's giving us tape, too.
Alright, I have a follow-up on the IGN thing.
By all means,
something that mildly annoys me about when people point out like IGN stuff. Alright, pointing out that God Hand got a 3.0.
Yeah.
Fair. I think that is a fair thing to make fun of, because that's a good game, and I think they're wrong about it. Now, video games are subjective. Enjoyment is subjective. That's true. God Hand's not a 3.0. Now, on the other hand, when people point out, but imagine Party Baby's got a 7.5, like, no, that's not...
Yeah,
that's not a comparison to make.
Yeah, no, it's for, like, they reviewed that with a target audience in mind.
Yes. Yep, that's the solution there. But yeah, they're reviewing it for a different crowd.
Yes.
Like, it's not saying that Imagine Party Babies is the game that God Hand should have been. Like, no one is fucking saying that. No one over there is saying that. And B, like you were saying, IGN is not one person.
Yeah,
it is not the same. Unless I were to track down that review, I don't think the same person who reviewed God Hand is the same person who reviewed...
I can tell you offhand that it is not
Party
the same
Babies.
person. Yeah.
Because, like, looking up, I wanted to get the exact score for Party Babies, which is 7.5. But when I look it up, there are so many images of people comparing video games to Party Babies.
That's why I have to do a Party Babies article, just to, like, talk about how fucking stupid it is that's become a talking point when it has no right to be, when it's just, like, a generic, like, party game that is fine for what it is, I guess. But, like, using it as a point of comparison makes absolutely no sense. Here we go.
So I think if you can look at a review, and I think it's within your right to look at a review and go like, no, I don't think that score's right. Like, I think something's up with that one, like God Hand giving a 3. But doing that comparison between two different reviewers for two different games in two wildly different markets is not, like, a fair comparison.
It ain't it.
And I'm going to go ahead and admit that me slagging on IGN for giving God Hand a 3.0, yeah, I mean, you can respect that if you want. It's subjective. Sure. Maybe someone really didn't fucking gel with God Hand. As a God Hand fan, I'm just going to go ahead and slag on it.
That's fair. Alright, so we made it here. Now what?
Worst Elephant says also God Hand reviewer hasn't worked at IGN for 13 years.
Yes. Let's run it up the flagpole. What are we looking at here? We're looking at this. Oh. Okay. I think there's a spot where I can grab onto this. To what end? Clear. Okay, so that's not it. Can I toss it through the window so I have the rope on the other side, or... Also, it would be great if it let me pick it up. There we go.
I'm actually trying to think if I have any real contentious video game opinions in terms of, like, a game that I think is just awful that a lot of people like. I don't know. I can think of games that I hate that a lot of people like, but even in those cases, I generally think, like, I recognize it as a well-made game. I just personally can't stand playing it. Like, The Last of Us Part 1, like, I hated it. I absolutely hated it, but I recognize that it was a very well-made product.
And I already said Dishonored here, so that's probably one of many of mine.
But I don't know if I have, like, a game opinion where, like, I think a game is just out and out bad, or that a lot of people, like, love.
thinking.
He says, if you want to say IGN gave God Hand Free but gave this a good score, then just compare it to Heavy Rain's 9, same reviewer. I still don't think that's fair. They're very different games.
Yep. And they were probably reviewed with different demographics in mind, and so on and so forth.
If Heavy Rain was supposed to be a brawler character action game and got a 9, that would be interesting, but...
Hey, Charkie?
And also, yeah.
I'm throwing in the towel. I'm asking you to look up what the fuck I'm supposed to do here with this rope and the flagpole.
Did you glitch it?
I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here, is the only thing. I'm looking for any sort of, like, guidance you might have. I can't take it with me. I have tried to get it out the door, but when I do, Carnby just drops it. So I can tell that there's something to do with this rope. They would not have put it here. They would not have had me shoot it off the flagpole if there wasn't some sort of purpose for it. Can I lasso it? Can I toss it? Like, over to something, possibly?
Wild Weasel says, Heavy Rain doesn't depend on you grasping a complex combo system forcing you to repeat scenes. I was going to ask you if you meant that as a joke, but then I remembered technically Heavy Rain doesn't make you repeat scenes.
No, when a character dies, they just die.
You can fail your way through the game.
You can fail upwards.
The dark.
Oh, wait.
Chapter.
I might have an idea. Look it up, because I'm probably wrong, but I might have an idea.
Okay, so have...
Alright, I'm out of ideas.
Okay, so... Now I'm seeing people get stuck. Oh. Okay, grab the rope.
Oh, okay. Let's do it. Let's see this, and let's see how long it would have taken me to figure it out.
Did you... Okay. Did you shine your lens on anything in here?
No. Fuck off! Ugh. Okay, I got it from here. Forgot about this stupid lens. I was half right. I knew that the wall had to come down. I forgot to use my special eyes. Okay. How long would that have taken me? Maybe like 5 more minutes to figure that out. If I'm being generous to myself. Again, it's the parts where they thought they were being clever that are the toughest, the worst parts of this.
Yeah. We're still talking about IGN, right?
Yeah. I don't have enough slack on this.
Oh, drop.
Okay.
You'll live.
Yeah.
Did he just get... It looked like the flashlight just fell from above and he just caught it.
I don't know if we were supposed to land on this in particular. Or I guess, even if we had, like, extra rope, this is ultimately where we would have ended up, so...
Yeah. Well, if you drop down and die, it'll respawn you where you need to be.
Great. Yeah, Carnby,
yeah, one sec, I gotta
we have the solution to the... Oh, no. It's too late.
Okay, it turns out where you need to be is up here. Alright, let's try that again. Maybe it glitched. Is the, thing closed? Okay, yeah. Guess you'll need to open it up again.
Yeah, that's easy enough. Wait for it.
Yeah, you gotta be in the exact position. You're too close for sure.
This should count. This is close enough.
This is right. What you're doing right there.
The rope is so finicky. Selecting these physics objects. Maybe
That
they
would be
shouldn't
so
have gone
good.
with physics. Maybe for all this stuff
Yeah.
that is physics contingent, they should have not done that. Or at least not when you're like trying to pick it up. Not when it's like a static object. When you're holding onto it, sure, then you can bring the physics out. But that's it.
Yeah. Oh well.
Okay, so I can accept that we land here. Let's try everything.
Close your eyes.
Is there anything over there that, like, I could do to get that rope to come to me somehow? Feels like a no. I think it's just gotta be, like, a really lucky jump. Or wherever the camera is pointing. Maybe. Can we crouch? Asked Magic Meows. No. What does the guide say? I'm...
Well, hold on, look it up. Jump towards a small... Wait, release the rope and jump towards a small ledge. You must start moving left. Grab a second rope there. Okay, you have to jump.
I just jump across?
I guess so.
But there's just not enough room to...
Well... Hey, you want to answer that? Eventually, you'll have to get to a small use the rope to get to a lower level. Eventually, you'll have to get to a small platform. Release the rope and jump towards a small ledge. You must start moving left. Grab a second rope there and proceed towards the ground floor.
The rope doesn't come down nearly enough.
Not that rope. Like, that ledge you're falling down to is the ledge you need to fall down to, and then there's a jump you need to make down there, somewhere else.
Let me grab the rope. Let me grab the rope. Go forward and hang off the ledge. The worst elephant posting in chat. Once you are down, you can see a rope on what seems like an unreachable ledge. Go forward and hang down off the ledge so you can shimmy around to the other side. I forgot that was a thing you could do in this. Now I also need to remember how to do it. Maybe I just walk backwards? Yeah. Okay. Thank you kindly. Very good. I had to think Tomb Raider. I had to think Angel of Darkness style. Oh, enough of that music. The game got bored of that soundtrack. We gonna get any more music? Was that it?
Ran out of notes, sorry. Hi, I'm alive this time, what up?
I found a new wrinkle I'm afraid.
Go ahead. I don't think you can surprise me at this point.
So it appears that there is a second medallion. It's gotta be this key we're looking for. I think you need both stones at the end of the path of light.
2 times the fun. Okay, Sarah.
God bless you, James McCaffrey. Okay.
I haven't heard from him all night so far.
Yeah, this is the first line he's had. The first line of dialogue we've heard in a minute. This looks so bad on my primary monitor with the busted lighting model. It looks very nice on the other monitor. It looks nice streaming out. But the color banding here... I want to do the thing again where I take a photo of my screen, because that's the only way I can think to convey this. Alright. I'm going to send this to you so I can show it on screen, or on stream. Right. So give me 2 seconds. Because I just want to give an idea, because for those of you who don't know, we've been dealing with issues this entire game where it renders all the lighting effects on, like, a proxy window. It has, like, some, like, layer. It has, like, 2 executables running simultaneously in order to make the magic happen. Yeah, so I'm going to escape, Alt-Tab, and, oh, I accidentally went back into the game. I didn't mean to do that just yet. So I'm going to load this image up in a second. Again. So, like, I almost feel like it's almost like an unfair advantage that I've had, in that, like, everything is, like, full bright, basically, on my end. On the other hand, it's made it hard to tell when the stream is too dark, which is a bit of a problem that it took us a few episodes to resolve completely by adjusting with the gamma settings. But, yeah, for those of you who are wondering what I'm looking at, looks something like this, at basically all times, that you can see the color banding, like, super clearly at any moment in time. That you, like, the distinct layers of lighting where it's supposed to go into effect. There's been no smooth lighting. Basically, all the scenery has been completely blown out. It's like 16-bit color. It's basically looking like a 16-bit color display. And it's only, like, on this window. It looks completely fine if I look to my right. So I just wanted to quickly convey that. This game shouldn't even be running at all. Like, it's a miracle that it runs in the first place. We've made it as far as we have.
I would like the apropos of nothing, as we are wont to do around here. I would like to share something that I think is funny.
Please.
Which you know this already, but there's this post on Twitter where someone's talking about a flash cart for Nintendo Switch that's coming out next year.
Yes.
And they're just posting like, hey, this flash card, it's here, it's coming out next year. You know, loads games off of an SD card, or loads whatever's off of an SD card. And there are people in the comments like tagging Nintendo to try and get them to
progress. Yeah,
to try and get them to stop making that. And including one person who responded, tagged at Nintendo, all caps, stop them! It's just the most baffling shit to me.
Some folk feel like they somehow get them closer to Nintendo, I guess. Alright, I see what they want me to do here. It's hard to do when this is how Carnby carries stuff around. This is how Carnby puts a thing in position.
It's the only way I know how to hold things.
Jesus wept.
Pro Striker says, Nintendo, stop this madness. As you said to me earlier, Nintendo, fire this man.
What if I do it like this? Jesus wept. Okay, so I think it needs to be, if I face it this way, it'll go down. No, and I need to face it away from that light, so I need to face it this way, and then it will face it in front of me, and that is how we do it. cool. More rope climbing. Definitely one of the better parts of this game. Nope. Carnby!
What? I think I gotta get down there. How was I supposed to do this?
Remember, print screen to let go of the rope. The logical key for it. Alright, so we need to block the light here. And I'm going to step here. And I'm going to push this, presumably. Or just drag it around like this. Sure.
I'm sorry, I went back to the post real quick to check. Someone's posted, please find a way to fix this fast. Pirating games is illegal. Prayer emoji, prayer emoji, prayer emoji. At Nintendo America, at Nintendo UK, at Nintendo NYC, at POTUS, at Sony.
Sony, you guys are engaging in fair competition here. You gotta understand that it shouldn't be like this. Stick up for Nintendo, in the spirit of gaming.
Someone else posted, at Nintendo America, at Nintendo, at Michelle Obama. Send in the troops! Because ultimately, like, tagging Nintendo on this doesn't fucking matter. Like, what,
they know it exists. Yeah.
You don't think they know.
You don't think they have entire departments dedicated to like assessing their options and to like keeping track of like product launches like this. Joe Schmo on Twitter is not the one who is informing them, who is like breaking the story to them. Yeah, it looks like we are back. Good. Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
I was gonna try to take the opportunity to like snipe it out from underneath you and like start streaming something myself.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. OBS crashed at some point. Should be back in.
Anyway.
I hope my local recording didn't get completely fucked in the process of that. I hope I still have. I don't have to just re-download it from OBS and stitch that together. Oy vey.
So, to the end of the point I was making, I guess, or was about to say, was like, don't fucking like narc to Nintendo or whatever on Twitter when you see anything about pirating or fan games. But it's not that they don't know about it, it's that you just look like a loser.
Yeah, it's real fucking loser behavior. Is like a gut reaction to it.
And also, yeah, like the big multi-million-dollar company, and that's being conservative, does not need you to champion them.
I got it. I don't know if that was the way I was supposed to do it, but I made it work.
Immersive sim, yeah, it was. Any solution that gets you there is a solution.
Cool, Carnby. That's absolutely the direction I wanted you to travel when I held down the S key.
Which way did he try to go? Up?
He tried to go back to the door that I came from, which was like to the right of the screen. Man, it's gonna be so cool when I have to climb all the way back up. When we have to go back to the Central Park and have to do all this shit over.
I mean, I don't think you have to go back up. This is probably the end of the game down here, right?
You would assume so. Let me off. No, not like that. Oh boy.
Also, the posts where the people were like, stop them, stop these people, fuck you for encouraging piracy and all that stuff. The post they're replying on is not the people making it.
Yeah, no, it's just people on Twitter who are reporting on it.
Yeah.
You know, that's just as bad as producing and putting in people's hands is giving it publicity, you see? There we go. Oh my god, they're going crazy with the ropes. They really thought they were, like, onto something here with this. They really thought people were gonna get a kick out of the rope physics and then climbing, descending.
They had, like, a bucket full of ropes by the end of the game, and they're like, shit, we haven't used these yet.
Well, you gotta spend as much of the budget as we have. We gotta spend through the rope budget, or otherwise we can't keep it. We're not taking it with us. All right. Oh my god, more of these puzzles? Okay, sure.
Okay. This is the part that, when I was trying to look up guides for, like, what you're supposed to do to get down from that rope from earlier, I was only getting results for this section.
I wonder why. I wonder what issues folk might have had with this.
I thought this was going to be, like, a hour-and-a-half long stream.
Not quite. We are going as long as it takes, by the way, I'm sorry to say. That we need to finish this tonight. I don't think it'll be super long, right? It can't possibly be.
I was waiting for, like, something to immediately drop on you and kill you as soon as you said that. Your game says the technologically advanced ancient culture that can create large labyrinths under Central Park, but don't quite understand stairs and have only recently figured out elevators. Well, look, they're alchemists, right? So they turned all their stairs to ropes. As
Makes
part of their
sense to me.
experiments.
I get this. I mean, I don't fully get it, but I get enough of it that I can... Nope.
Yeah, I think most of the comments I was seeing on people asking how to get past this part included stuff like, fuck these controls.
I don't think this is it either. Yeah? Okay. We're basically completing a circuit. Or rotating them until the spikes stop.
Surely, Carnby, there's an easier way to do this. You know, than the thing you're doing right now?
I think this bridge is safe now. Okay. Oh no. Well, fuck this. Into the depths. Ah, well, I was gonna toss it over the side, but it wouldn't let me, so... Oh my god, how much more of this is there?
I believe this chapter has 4 parts. You're still in part 2.
Carnby wins by doing nothing.
No.
I needed to see it happen at least once. So I'm glad.
Hole in one!
Oh! Take a step back. Oh, I get it. Okay. Controls are bad. Yeah, but you get it? You stop it by breaking the beam of light on the left.
Oh yeah, I understood that from the start.
I didn't quite notice the beam of light from the start, so... So the first one I think we can just pass by.
Yes.
This one...
No, it's gonna nail you.
Yeah.
I don't think it activates the thingy until you pass that one thing that trips.
Yeah, you cut the rope. You have to cut the rope.
Yes.
once more. Good thing it's not knocking the thing out of my hands, despite clearly intercepting with the...
Oh, that reminds me that Curse to Golf is free on Epic today.
Cursed Golf?
Cursed to Golf. Something about those big clubs like fucking yeeting you into the abyss. Reminded me about the golf game.
That makes sense. Can I just jump across and... yeah. What a strange turn for this game to make so late, in the literal last minutes.
To become a Tomb Raider game?
Yeah!
I keep saying I'm going to stop referring to Angel of Darkness, but it keeps coming back to us.
Nope, it's going to keep coming back forever. That's just our life now.
Whatever our Patreon game next month is somehow going to tie back into Tomb Raiderisms. I don't even remember. I don't, like, we'll put the list together at the thing, but I don't even remember what I suggested for my half of the list yesterday. I remember one of them.
Sonic Forces was the one I remember.
Right. What was the other? Spy Fiction.
That could be a good one.
That was my half. And I don't know what your two are.
I'll think of something.
I'll find out later. Yeah. So, yeah, folks, if you are a patron to the channel, then you can vote on that poll. I believe our Twitch subscribers can also vote on that, right?
Yeah,
in the Discord?
Give me 2 seconds, because I also need to do something outside of the game window anyway. But this also gives me a good excuse to show a particular screen that I have that, hey, consider supporting us by subscribing on Twitch, pledging on Patreon, boosting us on Discord. We have options, we have choices here, and if you elect to do any of these, you'll gain access to a channel on our Discord server called the Patron Zone, where you will have input. So the polls will go up on Patreon, but I am counting votes that are posted in the Discord channel towards that. So every once a month, the new thing going forward is that every month, and this game was a result of a vote, of a Patreon poll. So, yeah, that'll be the thing, is that moving forward. So no matter what you do to support us, we will thank you for it, obviously, very graciously. And we will find a way to make that vote count. But yeah, that's just one way to help support the channel and to help determine what games you play.
Magic Meows does point out the channel is called Patron Saints, not Patron Zone. I can fix that.
I'll fix the graphic later. I can do that.
Okay.
Oh my god, there's still more of this shit! How much?
I told you you're halfway through the chapter. You're on the halfway point here.
But I didn't know it was all gonna be puzzles. It's...
Oh, Pro Striker thought the stream finished because that was a very end of stream coded
Nah, it's supposed to be an intermission screen, is what that's supposed to be. It is my intention for that, but I think our battery is just our battery is still draining.
Can you see?
Our flashlight is still draining battery. Also, I will take that drink up happily at this point. But all the glowy shit coming out of our flashlight would make me think that we should have like infinite flashlight at this point. You know what I mean?
I mean, that looked like bad glowy stuff to me.
That's the insight, actually, is what that is. That orange glow is supposed to be tied into the insight. Okay. Not entirely sure what that accomplished.
Maybe put it back? No? Yes?
It's worth
the walls are closing in on you.
Yeah, I gathered that.
This is the room that everyone is complaining about. Okay, I recognize it now. They said the fire and the spikes. I saw the spikes in the other room, and I thought... Okay, so...
So we stop that. It's on fire.
We set ourselves on fire.
That does not appear to be an option. What if I just busted that from this side? What if I just destroyed that? You know what I mean?
I don't.
But then why would the steps be here? What is the point of the steps?
Well, time to look at the guide. I'll leave you to it for a bit. I'm gonna look up the guide.
I'm gonna try this, and if it fails, it fails. It can't be this, because they wouldn't expect you to have something that would require, like, inventory. No, that worked! I got it!
Oh, cool.
So the steps, again, like, I don't know what the purpose of the steps was. They made you think, like, it was something that it wasn't, but I just figured, like, you know, stop the platform. I didn't realize it would make this raise. I just thought, like, once the walls closed in behind me, that whatever purpose would be revealed, but,
Had to show those ropes who's boss before you climb on them.
Well, I wanted to see if shooting them down would give them, like, more slack or whatever, because there's been so many instances in the city of, like, ropes that you have to shoot off of something. Like the flagpole, for example. My god! You go from having, like, barely any puzzles in this game to non-stop puzzle gauntlets.
They were going to spread them out throughout the rest of the game, but they couldn't figure out where to put them, so they just put them all at the end. Feeling that you're supposed to set this on fire so you can see what you're doing. Very strong feeling that's what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, like, we had one puzzle earlier in the game where we did this, if you remember, where we lit something and we saw a path on the ground. But this is like the, obviously, what we're supposed to do is trace the path above us, right?
Yep, yep.
Oh, this works. This will get us there. That we can just see it on the ground. Yeah. And presumably, if I keep holding it here...
Yep, that'll stop the ceiling from moving. Now, I do...
Dead end.
In case you ever get frustrated, I do have the path.
I think I mostly got this. Oh, no, that's a dead end. Oh!
So I do have the path.
Oh, they're not going to show Carnby getting squished. Come on.
Carnby Panini.
Alright, I'm looking. I'm trying to see left. It looks like you have to jump over at some point. I don't know how those two bridge, but... Okay.
Nope, you're going backwards.
Yeah. Right here. And keep this in the light. Dead end.
Nope. I gotta mute my microphone for a little bit, but you say, just tell me where to go. I'll come back.
Alright, I'm gonna give this the old college try. At least one more try. I know that's a dead end. I think I know the way. I think I'm just not doing it quick enough. If I didn't have to lug this thing around, if I could just sprint across the ground... Which, you know, why can't I? Why can't I just do that? Oh, well, I walked off the ledge there. But yeah, why can't I just do that? What is stopping me from...
Because the sign will help you, like, keep the thing in the light.
Well, I have an idea. Alright, stop the cinematic camera. And put it back down. Put it back down better. No. Oh, and the flashlight is just not working anymore. It's like they deliberately disabled it during this part to stop my best laid plan. Oy vey, I need your help, Charkie.
Alright, you ready for those directions?
Yeah.
Alright, so make all of these turns the first chance you get. Okay, first turn is first turn is right. Then left. Then left again. Then right. Then right.
Dead end.
Then another right.
No. Oh, I see.
And then left.
Okay.
Then your next right that you can take. Left. Left.
Yeah, I got it from here, I think. It's just
and right.
a matter of... No! Motherfucker! It's the keeping it in the beam of light. If I can just sprint across...
That is hard.
It's like, look, if the flashlight goes out here, as if to say, fuck you.
That's what I was saying. Like, you're in the... that's the bad thing. Like, you're not supposed to bring light down into this place. Or something.
Catch on fire. Right.
Mm-hmm. Left. Left. Okay. Then right. And right. Left.
Honestly, more important than like the navigation is just making sure that this is always in the beam. Which is easier said than done.
And then left, left, right.
Yep, I got it. Thank you. Drop it, Carnby. Carnby. Carnby!
Oh my
Carnby!
God. So, right?
Oh no, the stream is crashing again. How are we ever gonna...
You're gonna champion this game?
This last act is like the worst fear I could have possibly imagined. Is that just out of nowhere, or not like nowhere, I guess it was building up to this, but like that they would just fuck up the final acts. They would brick it so hard at the end by going so far up their own ass with these awful puzzles.
Tiger Chimera says, so I came into this late. I assumed that the game was a horror game from looking at its title, but I assume I'm wrong looking at it.
Oh no, this is horror, alright. Existential, but it's horror nonetheless.
The worst elephant said, theoretically a horror game, which I misread as thematically a horror game, which I would definitely agree with.
No, no, no! Just let me sprint. I don't even care if I have to do it in the dark. I'll memorize the route. I'll do it like GoldenEye, fucking Egypt level. I'll just, like, dance around it. Right. Set it on fire. Set it on fire. It's not on fire. This is already a lost run.
Yeah. Magic Mouse is asking if you still like this game.
Yeah, I do. I can see, like, a bad section in a game and still be like, this is still, like, you know... This part absolutely sucks. Is it right? And then... Yep.
Then left.
This is just... so rough because it doesn't work. Because the part where you angle the thing doesn't work.
Right. Right again.
But more importantly, get this in the beam of light. Yeah.
Yes.
But it only goes for so long.
Left.
And then left, and just keep...
You're gonna turn right.
Yep.
Left. And it's basically a straight shot.
Yeah, I know it from here. The problem is just that it doesn't recognize, it doesn't want to accept that this is in the beam, that this counts.
Oh my God.
Are you fucking kidding me? Just give it to me. Have a cutscene at the end when you cross a certain point where Carnby drops it and just sprints. Just fucking takes off and then like goes in like Indiana Jones as the wall comes in under him. The ceiling finally comes in. He just rolls underneath it and he grabs his hat before he ends up on the other end. Do that! Don't do this! Ay, Chihuahua!
Okay, so right?
That's not even the problem. It's
yeah, I know. I'm just...
I'm walking at an angle. Now, quick turn, Carnby, quicker, even quicker. Do it like you mean it, Carnby. Move your fucking 100-year-old ass and get this over with. Right.
Drop it like over the fire pit if you can.
No!
Why don't you turn face that way and then drop it? Yes.
That's a fucking double.
Little did you know that there was another ceiling dropping on you in this room at a different rate.
And there's no checkpoint in between. Oh my God! Alright, now climb through that hole.
Yep. What if there's a game where, like this, where you're in this situation, you have a bunch of puzzles to solve, but anytime you want, you just take out your gun and shoot the puzzle to kill it and move on to the next room?
Where the flame leads, the path extends. Or where the flame bends, the path extends.
Thank you for telling me what that says, because it's a black screen on my end. Not because it's not streaming, it's just fucking dark.
Oh yeah, and I have full bright, the advantage of full bright. And also the flashlight just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
I can see what it looks like on stream now, so where the flame bends... Yeah, that's just unreadable. If I did not have the benefit of, oh, I could shoot my gun and we can use the...
Where the flame bends, the path extends.
There we go.
Maybe if you save those, what you call them? Glow sticks.
Wait.
I mean, they could have just said, set shit on fire.
Burn, baby, burn. Burn the motherfucker down.
Oh, wait, were you supposed to bring the torch into there to read it?
Yeah, maybe. Oh, but I missed,
What's that?
A key, I think.
Big key.
Where the flame bends, the path extends. I think I'm just putting out all these flames at this point. Carnby can't lift this one over his head, by the way. So I'm bending the flames by knocking them over. Wait, hold on. Item on the ground. Is that something? No, that was just the first torch that we picked up. Okay. Maybe that wasn't a key. Maybe there's something else to do here. Oh.
Where the flame bends, the path extends.
For the benefit of people who couldn't read it, who couldn't figure it out any other way, who couldn't just see it the first time, I guess. Where the flame bends, the path extends. Wait, hold on.
Maybe that's where you're... Well...
There's something happening in this spot where the lighting... Something about the lighting is changing here. Like, you see it?
Yes, I mean, I do see... Like, the, flame is going to your right side there. It's, like... drafted. I don't know if you're supposed to bring something over here, or you close your eyes here, or hit it. There's that thing that you said was a key. Maybe that goes... That you assumed was a key, rather.
Maybe I use that to bust down the door?
Yeah, potentially.
Or bust down the wall, you know what I mean. Ah? There we go.
Welcome, carrier. My name is Hermes Trismegistus.
Oh, sorry, I must have the wrong room.
Reunited at long last. So the stone finally found a worthy carrier.
Excuse me? What the hell are you talking about?
We are one physics glitch away from seeing his junk.
When I understood it had deceived us, I crippled it for our own good and locked myself in here to sit vigilant.
Speaking of physics glitches.
Yeah.
I have remained in this room. For centuries, the other half of the stone was traveling from hand to hand, murdering and corrupting men. Until finally, it came to you. You are the last, the true carrier. He whose decision will change the world.
Yeah, we'll see about that. It's time to introduce you to the wonders of the modern automobile. Follow me.
So Central Park has changed a little bit. I know when the last time you've been in the neighborhood was.
At last, I can feel the world again.
Better do it quick. It might not be around much longer.
Edward, I did it. I built the lock.
Finally, some good news.
There's just one little problem.
And I'm supposed to find this surprising...
What the fuck is that thing you're holding?
Countdown started. Theo's notes say there's no way to stop it. You've got to bring back the key before it runs out.
Or?
Well, the notes just say that all doors will be locked. I'm pretty sure that means we're fucked.
Great. Thanks, Sarah. You really know how to motivate a guy.
You're welcome. I'm still working on the text of the prophecy. I'll let you know if I find anything. In the meantime, hurry!
The sand is flowing out in the hourglass.
I know. We need a car to carry your venerable ass to the museum.
Yes, we must listen to the small rectangular woman you are holding in your hand.
She seems to know what she's talking about. Oh good, the timer stops when we're looking at this. Objective, find a car. Don't I know it. We have 50 seconds to do it. Oh, there was a car all the way over here. Near where we started. Where the waypoint objective was pointing. How'd that guy get over there if he's not actually following me?
Is he watching
Whoa!
you? Yep, he is.
He's Watsoning me. Yeah, you got it in one. Well, I tell you what, we wasted so much time that I should probably just jump off the edge here and reset the timer. Or see what happens when the timer runs out. See if that's just the end of the world.
I hope you just ragdoll.
Oh, we're about to find out. Close. It's ragdoll and the screen goes white. Okay. I wanted to see if I could skip this cutscene. I don't think we can.
Better do it quick. It might not be around much longer.
Edward, I did it. I built the lock.
You know, as mentioned earlier, James McCaffrey, he's selling the hell out of this schlocky-ass script.
As soon as I completed the lock, some sort of countdown started. Theo's notes say there's no way to stop it. You've got to bring back the key before it runs out.
Or?
Well, the notes just say that all doors will be locked. I'm pretty sure that means we're fucked.
Great. Thanks, Sarah. You really know how to motivate a guy.
You're welcome. I'm still working on the text of the prophecy. I'll let you know if I find anything. In the meantime, hurry!
The sand is flowing out in the...
Yeah, we got it the first time, old-timer.
We need a car to carry your venerable ass to the museum.
Okay. I think I'm having better luck this time. That's it. That's the last car in Central Park.
Crashed all the other ones.
Yeah. Boy, howdy did I. What if it was a forklift at the end and we had to use the forklift controls one last time?
A Ford pickup truck would not have been my first choice, but...
Wait. Hey, hold this for me, okay?
What kind of artifact is this?
Who's there, Edward?
There's a soul inside.
This is Hermes, Sarah. He's the key. Don't ask me why.
No kidding. Anyway, Edward, everything begins and ends now. You only have a few minutes. From what I've read, you need to get here, or millions of people will regret it. Now get...
It'll take me about 41 seconds to describe this.
Let's drive like we've never driven before.
Magic Meow says, I like how you asked about the phone, but not about the car.
A horseless carriage, you say?
Edward, the iron helix in the circular room. It started rotating. There's a sphere on top of the helix. It's shining, and it's getting brighter and brighter.
This would have looked really cool in a cutscene.
Oops.
And that's the end of the world.
Oh, come on.
Folks, it was nice knowing you.
This is how the world ends. The one thing they had to get right in this game was the driving.
This is the studio that made driving games.
The world hasn't changed. I still breathe madness. But we have to say what we can. Precious time.
Joke's on you. I don't know what bullets are. They have no effect on me.
Let's see where it checkpoints us. Oh, thank God. Okay.
They're back in the Crusher room.
You have to do that puzzle again.
Edward, the iron helix in the circular room. It started rotating. There's a sphere on top of the helix. It's shining,
This would be tense if this wasn't the second time doing this. If I didn't fuck up so horribly the first time. If I didn't know that fucking up just means they're adding more time to the clock.
I'll try to grab it.
It's useless, believe me. I built this system.
How do I stop it? Hey!
Different voice?
Yeah, that was a weird line read.
He sounded like nerdier all of a sudden.
The first symbol on top of the helix has been illuminated. There are 5 symbols, 4 remain. Shit! Another ball has just started rolling.
Hold on a second. Let's GPS this.
I hope you get there and the room is like completely empty and she's like, oh man, you missed it. It was a bunch of crazy shit.
Everything happened all at once. I figured it out though.
This is really weird how they've done this, where like anytime you get a call from her updating you on the situation, it just adds more time. Like, just give us like a flat time and have her comments. Yeah, have her comments set to come in on set time.
I know what the problem is. I know what the problem is. If you fuck up, then you have to wait the entire 5 minutes as opposed to 30 seconds.
The second symbol is lit. I can see the 3rd sphere. Edward, this guy knows everything. We must stop this.
Well, you can just checkpoint it and then like say like, hey, if you die here, like here's enough time for you to get there, and like give you a little leeway. Like plenty of games like do this sort of thing. It just doing it like this just makes it feel like Daytona USA Apocalypse Edition.
Time extended.
The 4th symbol is shining. There's only 1 remaining. I hope you're gonna make it.
We will live if we deserve it.
You only deserve my foot straight to your balls. Coming. It's nearly over.
That's right, Carnby. Ramp that shit.
Alone here?
That's a weird line read.
Like this? Wait, hey, what?
Oh, it's deliberately not letting me in.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the ride. Next time you drive. Come on, let's head for the room.
Oh, he appeared in front of me again. Yeah, if I can keep the gun out. He keeps spawning on top of me. I see his feet dangling above my head whenever he does that. Okay, give me some bullets.
So, here's the man who walked the path of light. Was it a pleasant walk?
You're really starting to piss me off, Crowley.
Let go of me, you.
Listen, you play Call of Duty. You know what to do.
Goddamn right I do.
I've had enough of your bullshit. Magical stones, monsters, prophecies. None of that means
None of it's real.
bullet in the head, does it, Crowley?
Freedom is the highest of all natural laws. Freedom to take or spare a life. The choice is free. But a man is then slave to the consequences.
Maybe.
Our mummy friend just looks up and to the left. He goes, oh shit, I didn't notice that. We gotta get out of here.
You are wasting precious time.
You're in the way, idiot.
No, timer's gone, so. YMCA.
Oh, I remember this room from the Clock Tower PS1 game. Joke for 5 people. The one that came out on PS1, the one that was not the remake of the SNES game.
Okay.
It's a cool room like this.
Inspired by the stone, I built this temple with the help of wise men. We thought it a gift to all humanity, but we were each of us betrayed by the stone. This is the umbilicus between our world and the next. This is Lucifer's door to our world.
How is that a gift?
Listen, don't look a gift horse in the mouth, you know? They thought really hard about what to give you, and just because you don't like it doesn't...
You're wasting precious time.
Shut the fuck up.
Suppose that's my job to do that. Yep.
Okay. Put in that SD card. At least that's what it looked like on my end. Without the benefit of being able to see it.
Alright, you must solve this puzzle, Carnby.
Grab a hold of this wet floor sign and stick it into the light.
Universal balance is restored. It is time for you to face him.
Any ideas? Do I have to kill him or what?
I don't know. The prophecy ends with a paradox. Lucifer's failure is also his reincarnation.
Damn it, Theo. You could have told me more.
The growing light announces Lucifer's arrival. When the light has filled the 9 circles of the gate, Lucifer will be incarnated. Now, Carrier, this is why you followed the path of light. The stone is once again complete. Take it to face our enemy.
If you say so.
Edward, can you hear me?
The light bringer is manifesting through him.
No! Oh, not you! I told you! You're not alone in this!
That was a stupid idea.
Choose quickly, Carrier. Kill her or let her live. You alone can decide, and you will decide for all.
Oh, what end do you want?
Guess that doesn't
You gonna
count.
let her live? Kill her or let her live?
Let her live.
Oh.
Are you alright?
I'm fine now that I'm Satan.
Yes.
More than your memories.
They're the past.
Would you fight me? What will you do now? Kill me?
Fuck.
How does it feel to be so alone?
I'm used to it.
Used to being alone. Where
In
there's
the
not
dark.
a lot of light.
Do I want to save my progress? Why start now?
That's not the end. That's the end? What? What? Wait, hold up.
Oh, I'm so glad you didn't know that was the... Yeah, that's the ending. Yeah, that's it.
You're just gonna walk away? Well, welcome to Earth, Lucifer. Okay, bye. Have fun. You know what? Call me up. I'll give you a tour of Central Park.
Now, we're gonna go back and regret the other ending, but it is just the 2 endings.
Yeah.
Worst Elephant saying, shouldn't have shot her. I didn't shoot her. That was a didn't shoot her ending. So yeah, that's Carnby's quest. Where does this leave the world? Who knows? Was that the good ending? The bad ending? I guess we'll have to compare it to the other ending. But yeah, that last section of the game sure sucked. People said the open world part was the rough part, but no, it's that puzzle gauntlet. That was rough. That took a lot of points off this game, making me do that shit.
Of what I'm doing.
That was
See?
yeah. Don't mind if I do.
That, like, you could have at least then shot her after the fact, or like she could have like run off ahead of you, like anything other than Lucifer just stands there and Carnby walks away.
I think we're
Like,
being
that
grace.
was-
I think what we're supposed to interpret that as is we sacrificed her. The paradox being that, yes, Lucifer reincarnated, but what's he going to be able to do within that vessel? And by Carnby letting that live, that vessel, that Lucifer vessel live, he has to acknowledge his own failure to protect the lady that he was falling for. That was my generous interpretation. So maybe the world is safe in this ending. Maybe Lucifer will try something within that vessel, but ultimately probably won't succeed. Like that would be the hopeful approach to it. But
if just killing Lucifer in that vessel was, if you were to say killing Lucifer in that vessel was like to send him off so he could come back in another vessel, which I don't even know how at this point, given everything that happened, like how that would be set up a second time. But if you say like, oh, now he's stuck in that vessel, and what's that vessel going to do? Lucifer would probably realize that, and there's like a convenient cliff for him to jump off of. He was like, well, time to roll the dice again.
yeah, I don't know, but maybe
like
you'd have to realign
him or
everything.
something?
You'd have to like realign all the stuff. You'd have to wait another few centuries to come back.
Yeah. At which point, just, I mean, I'm saying, yeah, just kill the woman that you love because she's a Lucifer now. And like, yeah, just do that. It's easy, but I don't know. It seems like such a non-ending for him to literally just walk away from the game.
They keep zooming in on that couple on the bench, like I'm supposed to be like impacted by these two random corpses. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know where this plot ended up. Like, why they kind of did any of this at the end? Like, why do they? Like,
I'm gonna guess
why they opened the Lucifer. Why did they open the Lucifer door?
My speculation again is that they probably intended to have like a final boss at some point. That they intended to have you like fight Lucifer in whichever vessel, or there was something more to happen there, but cut short.
It really felt like
ran out of time.
They ran out. It was just like, no, we just got to end it. Because it felt like something was supposed to come afterwards that explained anything or, like, resolved, but no.
And yet, you know...
Wow.
And yet, you know, I'm looking at this. I'm wallowing in it now. It's washing over me. And I still don't know if I hate it. Nope. Sure, end of credits.
Well, don't know if you hate it. Well, let's go back to that puzzle section. I'm assuming if you go to the final episode, last part, it's hopefully just going to be, yeah, choose for all.
Yes.
Previously on Alone in the...
No, that's okay. We can skip that.
You have 1 minute.
Hope it's enough time. Oh, we're literally right here. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wrong pistol. Doesn't remember that we have the 1911, but whatever.
So, here's the man who walked the path of light.
Gave you an extra 2 minutes.
You're really starting to piss me off, Crowley.
I'm sorry, I literally looked away for half a second. Did you just take that shot as fast as possible?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if the game did it automatically or not.
No, that's all me.
Shit. Magical stones, monsters, prophecies. None of that means shit when you've got a bullet in the head, does it, Crowley?
Natural laws.
Now, there is one line that we missed the first time through.
The choice is free, but a man is then slave to the consequences.
Maybe, but this one was a real son of a bitch.
There we go. God, James. God, McCaffrey. God, you were gone too soon. You were so fucking good. Oh.
Hey, aim it somewhere else.
I almost got stuck in that side room there.
Aim it somewhere else, she says. Well, bad news. We're going for the other ending.
Little does she know. And now this ending is truly James McCaffrey's magnum opus. I know what's coming. I suspect some folk in chat know what's coming. You know what's coming, but let's just enjoy it. Let's all pretend like it's our first time seeing it. First time hearing it. What's in my inventory? Curiosity. Flashlight. We don't even have the lens. We have a lighter, though.
Oh, we finally cleared up an inventory slot. Well, given your inventory situation, I'm guessing there's not a boss fight coming.
I mean, who's to say?
No, I mean, true, there is one last kill you gotta make.
With the help of wise men, we thought it a gift to all humanity.
Yeah, I know. It was a gift to humanity opening the door to Lucifer. We thought it'd be cool. We thought he was a nice guy.
And the next.
Yeah, can we move it along? I gotta shoot my girlfriend here.
Our world.
Is it okay if I call you my girlfriend, by the way, real quick? Sarah, is that alright? Before I shoot you, I just think I'm...
Are we official? Are we... I know we kissed, but, you know, sometimes a kiss is just a kiss. And...
You are wasting precious time.
Shut. Thank you. I hope that was... You're wasting precious time.
Ooh, my head.
Alright, I'm gonna shut up for the entirety of the ending scene once we get there.
Sure. I'll do my best.
Gonna let people enjoy it.
I hope this choir was paid very well, said Wildweasel. I know there's a weird credit for crediting them. Like the Emmy Award-nominated Hungarian Orchestra, or something to that effect. I'll point it out in the credits again when we get there.
No, the prophecy ends with a paradox.
Maybe that's their official full title.
Damn it, Theo. You could have told me more.
You're telling me this whole orchestra is Emmy-nominated?
Oh, it's like they've never actually been nominated for an Emmy, but it's like an aspirational thing. Their affirmations, I think, is what I was really going for.
No, I got you.
Now, Carrier, this is why you followed the path of light. The stone is once again complete. Take it to face our enemy.
Fuck this. Okay, I can't do that. You.
Don't run out of bullets before the end where you have to make that decision.
I was trying to stop her from intercepting and grabbing it from me.
Edward, can you hear me?
The Lightbringer is manifesting through him.
No, not you. I told you, you're not alone in this.
And 360. Oh, I know, I can't shoot it yet.
Choose quickly, Carrier. Kill her or let her live. You alone can decide.
Let me shoot! I'm mashing the left click button. There we go.
Listen, Tutankhamun, you have no idea how much I want to shoot her right now. Trust me, just shut up.
The last free act of man was murder.
So was his first free act.
I'm the light bringer. I'm the fucking universe.
Men will stand against you.
Did you think I'd come alone?
So there we go. Yeah, I'll save that progress. So did that illuminate anything for you? Did that make everything make more sense?
I think that was a better ending than the good ending.
And again, you decided in the very last second.
Not.
You know, one of my pet peeves is deciding your ending in the last second with an action rather than having your choices up to that point cumulatively affect what option your character goes with. I'm just keeping an eye open for the orchestra credits. It's gonna pop up eventually. But yeah, fucking Lightbringer, the fucking universe, etc., etc. That's Alone in the Dark 2008. That's both endings. That is the game. That is the playthrough. That is the destruction. That is the end of me being able to like really defend this game. It really does fall apart. Scenarists? What's a scenarist? You mean a scenario writer? What's a scenarist?
The plural of people who make scenarios.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, that ending is obviously like one thing, but I'm just still hung up on that final act as a whole.
Yeah.
I'm still as hung up on the fact that it was just that puzzle gauntlet. That really kind of killed it for me. Whatever vibes, whatever like credit I was giving to developers, to have them squander it like that, to throw it all away in the last minute with that horrible gauntlet. That was rough. I don't know. It has novel ideas. Obviously, I still commend the developers for coming up with some novel ideas. They clearly had a vision, a grand sweeping one that got completely lost in the sauce of becoming a technical showcase or whatever, between the fire and the rope physics and all like the scenery destruction stuff. The best parts were still the parts where they
down production team.
The best parts of this game are the parts where they were not hands-on. The best parts were where they left players to their own devices as much as they could. Everything that was meticulously scripted and had like a very clear vision for like how players are going to progress through it just does not align with any like sort of player. Performed by the Grammy Award winner, The Mystery of Bulgarian Voices. That was the weird credit from before. The Grammy Award winner. All right. Yeah, I see the potential. I see the idea. I see the philosophy they had for how they thought players would progress through it, but I see the path where a standard player would deviate, where a casual player would take a left when the developers expected them to take a right. I see like all the mistakes, the mistaken assumptions they made along the way for how players would engage with the game, and when that stuff, the cumulative weight of that crushes the game, that's the killer. Is just a complete failure on the developer's part to align themselves with how a player is meant to approach their game. That's what it comes down to. And so the things that appealed to me were the parts where they weren't doing that. The parts that appealed to me was where they were hands-off, where they gave you the open world, where they crafted, you know, the cars, which, you know, not perfect, and they left you to figure out your own solutions and stuff. And granted, there's only so many solutions. So again, I'm trying to give credit to things that are very, like, poorly executed, because I see the potential, because I want to see the version of this game that's good. But, yeah, narratively, it's a mess.
Well, apparently that's the Wii version. I don't know.
I guess we'll find out at some point. Not for a while. I am taking my sweet time getting to that, but I don't know. It's so fascinating. I really hope one of these names that we're looking at in these credits is able to come forward one day without fear of reprisal and just talk about, like, what went wrong, what went right, what they're proud of, because there's a lot to be proud of here. I mean, to assemble this product, to put together these scraps and to release a product that is completable, that is technically beatable, that functions more or less from beginning to end, is an accomplishment in any context. I have to wonder if, like, the license itself was a burden. I mean, it's so detached from those original Alone in the Darks that it can't possibly be, right? That this is so far removed from anything Alone in the Dark that wasn't the thing holding it back. What must have, like, held it back was just, like, those lofty ambitions getting, like, further narrowed down and narrowed down and narrowed down. And in scope creep, like the opposite of scope creep, where it's like, okay, we need to condense. It crushes down to size because we only have this much money and we can't accomplish whatever that original vision was. So let's make the most of the assets, the resources we have, and, like, cobble together into something. And, like, something in that process went awry. Or maybe it was just, like, maybe, like, we could be completely wrong. This is pure, like, speculation is the thing. It could have been, like, the whole purpose of this game was to show off those fire physics and those rope physics. That's where the thought process began and ended, right? That was as far as they thought before, like, pulling the trigger on, like, making this game. And then everything else was just improvising. Who's to say? Until someone steps forward. And that's why it's important for people to step forward, to be willing to do interviews. Even under anonymity, like, whatever you have to do to, like... To let people, when you have a game like this that is so lambasted, but clearly has so much potential, it's just, it kills me to not know what went on here, and I can speculate all day, but I'm going to cease the speculation for now, give you a chance to talk, tell me some of your thoughts, because I'm so curious to know.
I mean, I don't think I have too much that I haven't said, because, I mean, what's more important is you're the one who played this. So, like, I was here as an observer. But what it seemed like to me was, like I was saying, that this seemed like a formula that if they had iterated on and, like, got another shot at it, it could have been really cool. But what they had, like, didn't come together, and they kind of obviously knew it wasn't coming together, because you can see a lot of places where they put band-aids over things to, like, fix issues that they knew were present. Like the fact that anytime you got to a puzzle, there was infinitely respawning things pertaining to that puzzle, because they're like, yeah, okay, with the limited inventory and, like, how things are, like, we don't want to lock people out of beating the game, so that's just sort of like an easy band-aid kind of fix to something. It's like, just put all the things you need, like, right there.
Yeah, that definitely reeks of last-minute changes made, like, as the game is approaching, like, due date, is approaching, like, this is the point where we can't work on it anymore. You know, like, I'm so curious to see the PS3 version as well at some point, to see if, like, the benefit of extra time, like, what, if it resulted in any, like, structural changes that I'm just not privy to right now.
So, I mean, I know you don't have it, but that is on PlayStation Plus streaming. So that is available to play if you are, like, a PlayStation Plus subscriber. Whatever their tier is for streaming.
Sure. Yeah, I don't know. It
yeah,
is a mystery.
I think it's a game with, like, a lot of good ideas, a lot of ideas that could have been iterated on very well or picked up by other people.
Oh, there's a secret cutscene here.
Yeah. But...
Where am I?
So yeah, you could tell as you're playing it that they probably realized this was not coming together the way they wanted it to come together.
Something inside me, something dark and violent.
And, like, the ending felt like that too. The ending felt like they wanted to do something else, but it was like, nah, out of time.
Anyone that's left, everywhere.
Or out of resources.
Out of everything.
Released you from Edwin. What was trapped in the stone?
Even looking at this and just, like, seeing the way they're framing this, seeing the way they're presenting this, how is, you know, we had the conversation earlier, like, is this meant to be a horror game, an action game, a puzzle game? That's another thing, is that it's trying to be so many things at once. A driving game?
What it really wants to be is a TV show.
Yeah, that's ultimately in the whole episodic structure.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I imagine, like, that driving through the city as it's all coming down around you. This is what the game was sold on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was an action-packed set piece for whatever it was worth, but...
It almost makes me wonder like, if the open world stuff was like a concession of sorts, like they wanted it to be mostly set pieces, but it provided more opportunity for like gameplay to have just a big space you can go to, and especially when it got to the end, it was like, hey, here's more of those routes. Go blow those up before you get to the end of the game. Because like once we got the routes and got to that one place, do that mission, we had a few minutes of doing stuff there. You know, it would have been less if we knew what we were doing, or we're better at it. But yeah, but you know, once you do that one thing, the game is immediately like, okay, now go find more of those routes, and then you can do the end of the game. So I don't know, maybe open world kind of came later, possibly, like into the whole design process to like flesh out the game or to expand the game. You know, you can't do everything as a set piece. Or maybe they just wanted to open and end the game on like strong set pieces. Maybe that was their idea.
Yeah. No, I think those are all reasonable like theories. I think that's all like very reasonable in terms of trying to guess at this. But at the end of the day, it's all just guessing.
So hey, anyone in the chat was working at Atari in 2005 to 2007, you know, you can send a DM.
Hit us up.
Say it in chat. Yeah.
Cassidy at badgamehalloffame.com. Send an email. All right. Quit that game. Oh, and because I couldn't do it from within the game, but I can do it now, hit my fucking victory screen. Ooh, I feel like I really earned that one. I feel like we really went through it with that one.
Yeah.
Through the ringer.
Maybe not as rough as Tomb Raider was.
No, that's still my low for the stream, I think. But this wasn't this one at least had, not to go around circles, but some ideas. Like, I always gotta respect the hustle, I gotta respect the ambition, and that keeps this game from becoming like a bottom tier game. I'd give it a 2 out of 5. Right?
Okay. Right.
To put a score on it.
Thought you were about to do a 10 system there.
No, I don't do 10s. Strictly 5s. No decimals either. Decimals are for cowards who can't commit to a solid number. Thanks for tuning in, folks. Thanks for watching, playing along with us, making us not so alone in the dark. We'll be back with something. We'll put up a Patreon poll in the next couple days, and we'll decide what we're gonna play next month. Join the Discord. Consider subscribing, patronizing, boosting us Discord, and you can have a say in that poll. But yeah, no, it's cool that people did stick with us through this. It's still incredible to me that people watch video game streams in general, let alone ours. You know, I'm still figuring out the whole streaming thing. I still don't fully understand the appeal, but I will say it is nice to have folk along. I can say that much for certain. Yeah. Maybe a break between horror games, so maybe I won't populate the poll with much more of those, but we want to try to have some variety here. We want to try some different swings at different genres, different themes, so that the next long play is distinct, so that a different audience can come in. If they were scared off of the idea of a horror game, potentially, then maybe the next one will get them. And we hope you stick around. We hope that our personalities are enough to carry through the 12 hours that it took to play through a game like this, you know? But again, just grateful to have y'all here, going into a new year, 2024. We started about halfway through this year with the new format, with Charkie as co-host. It took us a little time to really settle into that, but we're here now. I'm happy that we're here. I'm looking forward to the next year. Looking forward to seeing where we take this thing. Tell your friends, your family, your clergy. Let them know. Bad Game Hall of Fame. Yeah, it's and that's all I got for now. Any parting words, Charkie?
I feel like I should.
Okay, I have one more thought.
Okay.
One more thought, and that is to say that I am the Lightbringer. I'm the fucking universe.
Oh no. Fuck. I gotta T-pose out of here. I'm sorry.
Well, you do that, and I'll go just demolish mankind, or whatever it is that Lucifer's gonna do. It's New York.
Wait,
it's already New York's already hell on earth. So I mean, what's the
wait.
difference? What's the fucking difference? Oh!
Lucifer, didn't come alone. Lucifer brought an army, so we should take our army to raid somebody.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's as good a segue as any. Let's see. Lord BBH is playing Grand Blue Fantasy versus Rising. According to this, that sounds like a fighting game, an anime fighter.
Yep.
I've heard tell of these kinds of games.
Just came out. 2B is going to be coming out on it soonish, I think.
Very cool. So y'all can enjoy that, and I'll be getting up to Lucifer things. Bye.
Which is Lucifer things, as it turns out, is basically most of the same stuff the video game streamer on Twitch normally does. Anyway, good night, everybody.
Bye.